this place!
Hey, man, is that
Double D?
Yeah, man. Well, turn it up, man.
Let's just go in and, like, kill all the orcs, right? They're the bad guys, who gives a shit? We just hack and slash and we loot their dead bodies, right? Hack and slash, kill them all, you know, conquer the infidels.
Boy, that campaign sounds like a barrel of fun, doesn't it?
Somebody who's opening a refrigerator and leaning in, right, is the language of a woman. Somebody who's opening the refrigerator and being cut off halfway through that lean is the voice of like a mermaid or a siren, right?
This is not the face of the hobby anymore. And I think there's been mistakes made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, you know, white dudes in a basement, which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so it's, in my viewpoint, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
I just had to be born with empathy and a weakness for socialism and femboys. For socialism and femboys.
For socialism and femboys.
You gotta put a little hot sauce on the taco, you know what I mean?
We want this dwarf to be the dwarfiest dwarf.
Right.
We want the elf to be the elfiest elf.
And just the dashiest dash of Tabasco.
Their voices need to carry across water.
I'm a creative. It's a huge drain, right? Because fans can be awful.
Al zurdo de mierda no le podés dar ni un milímetro.
Pero ¿me podés definir zurdo de mierda? Que no
Todos los que,
entiendo.
digamos, los colectivistas, los que ponen, digamos, o sea, esa idea... A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda, digamos?
Porque son una mierda.
You say white lives matter, they don't. White lives don't matter because white lives aren't a thing.
I disagree. I disagree, Gary.
Lutherville, Marina Del X, Otisburg. Otisburg.
Who's this monster? She's got her own place. Otisburg. It's a little bitty place. Otisburg. Okay, I just wipe it off. That's all. It's a little town. Yep.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
5, 4, 3. Great sandwich!
Thank you. I enjoyed having you here. You're a very good co-host.
Man, your sinewy muscles are just ripped. And look how your gleaming sweat just comes off your golden body, and the women are just looking the same, and all of them want
Double D. All righty.
Double D before you even start.
Yeah, right out.
Check that out.
Damn. Right out the gate.
Bang, bang. I don't have a gun tonight. Bang, bang.
Fast on the draw.
Bang, bang. James gang. The gun is good. The seed is bad, right? Isn't that the Zarda?
That is Zardoz.
Zardoz
Absolutely.
quote. Yeah, great movie. My name is Arthur Frayne. I got to watch that again.
So do I.
It's been a little. We got to watch it together.
Let's do it.
Yep.
I just
Sounds like a sleepover.
Can you get Mom's permission, Rogan?
Yeah.
We'll do a sleepover.
Well, maybe I
Can Rogan come out and play?
Maybe I can forge a note.
Thank you, James, so much. Very much appreciate that. Well, as you could tell, Rogan is here.
I'm here. How's everybody doing?
I think the chat is probably doing fantastic. You know what, Rogan?
It's my team. It's my quarterback.
Then we got...
I'll make mincemeat out of you, mouse.
Can't catch me.
Can't catch me.
Can't catch me. Can't kill me. Hungar, you remember?
Re-upping.
Yep.
Damn.
Thank you, buddy.
From the inner circle,
Yep.
there's Hungar.
Yep. Can't wait to wear my shirt again on stream. Got to give it a little bit of a break, Hungar. Can't wear it every week, but I'm going to work it into the rotation. Well, I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you all for tuning in to your normal hump day thing.
Looks like we got a brand new one.
Ooh, I'm
a
Pi.
noob.
Yeah, member too. I'm Pi. Yes. Good to see you. Thank you for showing up live. That's right. We are your hump day things.
Hump day getaway.
Yep, hump day getaway. We are not alone.
We got a house. We got a full house.
We got a full house.
Yes, we do.
All right. Without further ado, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, throw it up.
There you go.
He snuck it in.
Yep.
Damn, 2 shots.
I don't know why it did not auto pay. Yeah, YouTube's like that. But I appreciate it, Hungar, and thank you so much for the super chat. Good Lord, guys. Cthulhu creator Sandy Peterson interview was great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It really was. He's an interesting dude.
He was very interesting.
Cool
History
dude.
in your interviews is always interesting to me. I started playing more recently. Oh, okay. Then you probably learn a lot about that. I guess the one thing I was floored by is the average Call of Cthulhu player is a Japanese woman.
that was news.
That was.
Yes. All right. Without further ado, let's not keep our guests waiting. First, you know him, you love him. He's been on the show before.
We should
jumped
have
in.
the introductions like they do for wrestling.
And
now,
his
parts
entrance
unknown.
music.
Yeah.
The Dutch national anthem.
Yeah. Hey, everyone.
It's Victor Gorchev.
Yeah.
Hi, Victor.
Hey, Victor.
Hey.
Yep. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, not too bad.
Modern Necessities is his thing. We're going to get to that in a moment. He's got already a nice little successful Kickstarter going. And I'm happy to say he is not the only one.
We got anybody else?
We do. We got Ryan Howard, Mr. Rolling Bones himself, and the Wonky.
Hey, what's up, guys? Whoa,
hello, everybody.
The sun is
Gentlemen.
now directly in my camera. Let me.
We're going to have some fun.
It's good now, Ryan.
There we go.
Yeah, you were getting a J.J. Abrams lens flare there.
I was.
For a moment.
I was going to have to start shaking the camera.
Yeah. I didn't realize who the Wonky was, and then when he appeared, I kind of chuckled because
Brother.
I did know. Yeah, that's right. We were Saint Yig, right?
Yes, indeed, the one and only. We fought valiantly together in the depths of those horrid crypts.
Yeah, we were on Greg Gillespie's live play. I know a lot of you guys tuned in for that, so you probably already recognize the Wonky. So,
that was so much fun.
Yeah. Good to see you, boys, and congratulations on your already successful Kickstarter. It's always good to see little guys doing good, and hopefully someday you're big guys who do good, right?
Thank you.
That is the hope.
So we can big time you mean? Right now,
That's right, exactly. Yeah, I was going to say, remember your humble beginnings on this show.
Yeah.
Huh? So first of all, I kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts. We had a legend pass. James Ward, the man himself, Mr. Deities and Demigods, Mr.
That's
Old
such
School.
that was
himself.
a good, not just a good book. That was a good read, even if you didn't really play. Just the myths and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
that's fair.
I fell in love with that one goddess in the bottom corner. She had a dagger.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
man, holy cow!
Find it.
Her and the solid gold dancers, man. Those girls got me through.
Go ahead,
puberty.
A lot of lonely nights.
The thing that kind of makes me sad about this one, it's obviously it's sad to see, a legend go like that. I never got the opportunity to meet Jim Ward. However, and this goes for Wonky as well. If it weren't for Jim Ward, Wonky and I would not be here right now because he had a direct impact on the career of one Jim Wampler, who is the reason why Wonky and I are a partnership, a duo. So in a lot of ways, I feel like I owe Jim Ward a great debt. And I wish that I had the chance to talk to him, either on my show or in person, just one, to thank him for that, but also to, hear about the legendary career that he had. And so Yep.
Well said.
Yeah,
well said.
It saddens me.
Yeah, these guys are going, and they're going too quickly, right?
It's so true. Yeah, no, absolutely. The dude was like an original visionary, you know, and he was so fundamental towards helping shape pretty much everything I care about in the fantasy and, you know, apocalyptic and all kinds of genres. You know, the dude had such a wide reach with everything he did, and think of how far that influence ripples out, you know. I'm several generations away, but with that, even then I feel close to this creator, you know. So it is sad, but it's also kind of a little bit of a reality check, and some people are going to need to step up and start creating some cool shit because, like, you know, these legends are passing on, and, you know, I don't see a lot of young people picking up that torch.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are doing your part. I'm working on my part, but you guys are actually one step ahead and doing good work. We'll get into your Kickstarters in a moment. First, we have a super chat from Alchemic Raker, our old friend, $5. Kickstarter double feature today.
What's up, Raker?
Yep.
Hey.
Now, you guys, the Kickstarters that we're going to be going into, you can find the links. You should be able to find them in the description of the video here, this live stream. I wanted to share, I guess, one thing with Jim Ward. I guess one of the reasons I highlighted Deities and Demigods was this little controversy that everybody now Crazy Mouse has an old Deities and Demigods with the Cthulhu and the Nawan mythos.
Lucky. That's rad. What a relic.
It has water damage, but it still gets the job done.
That just adds flavor.
Thank you.
So I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but I thought this was pretty cool. So I will read it. I found this a while ago, and I've always meant to highlight it, but I never did. It's from our dearly departed James Ward. Deities and Demigods. I'm going to print this out once a year for the rest of my years. I absolutely hate it when ignorant people say TSR/me acted in copyright infringement for the Melnibonian and Lovecraft sections of the book. When I was given the assignment for that book, I listed the various pantheons that I wanted to use. Gary noted that maybe Lovecraft and Elric sections might be a problem. He gave me the Arkham House and Moorcock addresses, and I immediately wrote them, explaining what was up and asking their permissions to include the material. Wonder of wonders, I got 2 letters back giving me permission to use their work. I foolishly gave those 2 letters to the lawyers at TSR. They might still be in some lost file at Wizards I would kill for them now. They're probably long gone, I'm sure. So they printed up the book, sold great. Then they got the C&D letter from Chaosium, and he said that they don't blame him a bit. However, they didn't know about the 2 letters. TSR would have won a court case hands down. However, the company wasn't rich at that point, and Brian Bloom didn't want to go to California, get a California lawyer, and spend time and money winning the case. James went nuts because he had done way more than he was supposed to in clearing the way for those 2 licenses used in the book. He even offered to write 2 more pantheons free of charge, but the Blooms didn't want to bother. So he fumed for years. Now, when people talk online about TSR and copyright violation, it presses my maximum angry button. Maybe some of my Facebook friends can pass along this word as time goes on. But while I'm doing my job here, James, hope you're looking down on this. So, yeah, rest in peace. And know that we know that you cleared that stuff.
Yeah.
The dude was a professional. He did his due diligence.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easy to see letters at the old TSR getting lost, or some box somewhere. I can almost picture it.
Lost in the floorboards.
Exactly.
I would have definitely copied it.
I worked in a law firm, and we had a huge filing room that we just called the dungeon. And it's where like documents just went and died. That's where these letters are in something just like that.
Yeah.
They're somewhere next to the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
More important than the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a quest I hear?
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let us first go to Modern Necessities. Victor Gorchev. I'll tell you what. Let us first watch something here. I thought this was actually really good.
Oh, thank you.
As you can tell, I was.
Let's make double something.
Yes.
Man, does anyone else want to go play some Unreal Tournament now?
Oh man,
Right.
Exactly.
I just want to dance.
Brian James, $1.99. Victor Ryan Wonky, great Kickstarters. Want. Well, you can find them, Brian, in the description. Thank you so much. So great job on that. Who did you put that trailer together, Victor?
Yeah, I made that myself.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That came out well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yes. It's a fantastic job.
It makes me want to buy it.
It's true.
So you seem to like the modern like modern weapons, stuff like that, Victor. What's kind of some of your inspirations? I'm going to guess you maybe has some 80s movies that kind of inspired you.
Oh yeah, definitely 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Like I grew up on all that stuff, RoboCop, Total Recall, all the Lethal Weapon movies, Die Hard, stuff like that, and some more modern stuff like I love the Jason Bourne movies. John Wick obviously was a big inspiration, like way more modern inspiration. So yeah, all that kind of stuff. As far as gaming goes, as far as tabletop games, when I first started getting into them, like late 90s, early 2000s, stuff like D20 Modern was big, Tristat, all the GURPS Modern stuff. And those were the kinds of books that I was like getting and like reading through. Back then you had like all these like weird GeoCities sites that just had like guns for like Shadowrun that people made. And I would just like spend like hours just going through those, just reading all the little gun descriptions. And I love that stuff. So when I started making games myself, I kind of wanted to bring that back. I mean, fantasy, I love fantasy. I play a lot of fantasy. I read a lot of fantasy. But as a creator, it's kind of hard to get your foot in the door. So I needed to find a niche. And so I went with this.
I think it's very smart. It is a cool little niche because it is. Yeah. I guess it does kind of. It's a little Shadowrun-y, correct?
Yeah. Or the movie Bright with Will Smith.
How hard is it to? So this is essentially like a rule set that you can kind of tack on to Old School Essentials, which is very popular. Basic Expert, retro clone. How hard was it to adapt? Like an AK-47, into D&D. Essentially.
Not that hard. I'd actually done it once before. So last year or a couple of years ago, I had my Kickstarter for my 5th edition Modern Rules. And 5th edition is a little bit more crunchy. So going from crunchy to like a simpler rule set, I mean, like I said, it was simpler. But at the same time, sometimes simple also makes it harder because you have less to work with. Like, you know, how many bonuses do you give something? Like, how many bonuses do you stack? Like, all that stuff. You kind of have to, like, limit some things. So, I don't know. Alternately, it was hard and easy, so.
Right. So we have a couple of different, maybe like a couple of different levels. Oops. Sorry, I got on the wrong one there. So it looks like we can get a digital PDF for about $10, right?
Yeah.
We have soft cover. Almost said soft core. Where's my mind?
I mean,
that's the next book. He's putting that out next year.
Nice. Coming 2026. The Hitman deal. Soft cover, print on demand, and PDF. Only $21.
Yeah, and you
that
get all
sounds like
four
a
books,
really good
so.
deal. Yeah, and then you guys who really want to support get a bookshelf book, hardcover print on demand plus digital. Only $32. That's actually really reasonable. Got Operator, where you get pretty much everything, right? About $43. Jeez.
For $50, they'll come and read it to you at home.
Yep, got some special, probably historic levels.
Yeah, like store group levels.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, guys, you can get this really reasonably. I'm actually very impressed. I have your other one, the earlier edition.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna grab maybe like the soft cover PDF of this one, because this looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one, honestly, because even though I don't run OSE, it's such a universal game engine that it's so easy to adapt and take from. I mean, realistically, who couldn't use this book right here at their game table?
Yep.
I can't think of anyone that knows how to run a game and is worth their salt that couldn't find benefit from this book. It actually has me really hyped.
Yep.
And yeah, OSR in general is so like flexible,
Right.
so yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Wonky and I have kind of discovered in our creative process is really anything that runs on the BX engine is pretty broadly compatible. So rather than like commit to a single niche, I mean, we broadly design, but even if you buy something that is directly designed with old school essentials in mind, I mean, shit, you can take that all over the place.
I'd say it's probably the easiest system to convert to other systems. I mean, it is kind of like I think Greg Gillespie once told me that it's like the Rosetta Stone of gaming, you know, it's that universally translatable kind of common text.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, you could use this with basic fantasy, with original BX, with like the Ratchet stuff by the Red Room, probably. See what else is there. I've known people that have used this with Lamentations of the Flame Princess, so yeah, you can use it for all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Now, have you been able to run a lot of this, Victor? Like, do you have a regular game group you can run this with? Right now?
So my game group kind of fell apart in the last months, but I did run this. I ran the original that you have with Keep on the Borderlands, and I changed the setting to kind of like a post-apocalyptic, like Europe, kind of like a Rift styles thing where like magic became a thing and messed everything up. And yeah, it was like really fun. And that was kind of the inspiration for the adventure that's also part of the stretch goals. So yeah.
Nice, yeah. This is a good one. Like I said, guys, if you are interested, give it a good look. Because I mean, not only does it look, I mean, you saw like in the trailer, this looks very professionally done. Who did the artwork, Victor?
It's an artist named Nolan Collins. He's really awesome. He was suggested to me by one of my older artists who kind of went semi-retired. But then, you know, to make up for that, he was like, hey, I know a guy who does like really awesome guns. Let me give you his email. So yeah, I reached out and yeah, he does all my art now, pretty much. He's working on some pieces that I'm getting in today that I'm probably going to put up on the Kickstarter page once they're done. So yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, that's good shit he's doing.
I love the art.
Yeah,
that was pretty sweet.
And he's very reasonably priced too, which, you know, that's just a bonus. So.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry there.
Nope, I got it.
I stepped on Crazy Mouse's toes there.
Back off, Jack.
Jinx, owe me a Coke. Chris Miller, $2. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm getting Cyberpunk, Recon, Top Secret vibes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, one of the stretch goals is for cyberpunk rules, and then another stretch goals for kind of like steampunk, like Weird West stuff. So my goal was to make like a toolkit that you can take this and just do whatever you want. You can just do purely modern. You could be like a special forces team, like, you know, going into like Afghanistan and like, you know, doing stuff there. Or you could do something like the Dresden Files, you know, like it's the real world, but there's like supernatural stuff exists. You could do something like that movie Bright, like I mentioned, with Will Smith, where like fantasy and like the real world are like they exist simultaneously. You could do anything. You could run this with old modules. You could do this with I always like mentioning the Isle of Dread. So you could do like kind of like a Jurassic Park type thing, or like, you know, something like Uncharted or Indiana Jones. So yeah, it's all up to you. It's just a toolkit.
I like the Dresden Files angle. I hadn't even considered that, and I'm like, the only reason is my wife is a voracious reader, so you know she leaves books lying around, and she's rereading like the Harry Dresden books. I'm like, oh yeah, these were actually pretty good. You know, I read a handful of them. You read some too, didn't you?
I read them all. Yeah.
Oh, you read them all.
Yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for the next one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've read almost all of Baker, right? Jim Butcher. Yeah, almost all of his books.
There's another really good book series. It's called Monster Hunter International. I know Ryan Howard knows that one.
Excellent.
It's about like these bounty hunter mercenaries that hunt like, you know, supernatural monsters, and then the government gives them bounties. And yeah, you could definitely do something like that. You just take all the classic monsters from D&D, and they exist in the real world in secret, and you're like, you know, the badasses that go in to like take them out. So yeah.
Do you have racial bonuses and negatives?
So I'm mostly just using the normal old school essentials basis, but with like some modern stuff like tagged on, so you can like modernize them. So I think the original ones in the old school essentials book have like, you know, some negative. I can't remember. That might be more of a second edition thing. But yeah.
Cool. All right.
Trying to remember if they do or not.
Yeah, I haven't looked at them in a little bit, so.
Because I know,
look at
like
so
in
many
the
games.
In the core books, it's race as class, but then the
advanced has to separate.
Yeah, advanced lets you separate them out, and so I don't know. I don't remember if they add racial penalties as well as racial bonuses.
I don't think they even really get like the stat bonuses. They just get like special little things like.
All right. Well, we'll of course revisit that at least once more before. But like I said, if you're interested in a little bit of gunplay in your old school, check out Modern Necessities. Link in the description.
That's a really cool video.
Yeah, nice little trailer. Now we come to something a little more traditional, right? Right, boys? Ryan and Wonky, you guys have
in a sense.
We have no video to show you. I have failed. I feel so shown up right now.
We should LARP that shit right now.
We should. Let's do that.
This looks really cool, though.
Thank you.
This is kind of. I would tell you what. Why don't you guys give maybe just kind of like an elevator pitch? You know, as
sure.
Kind of like going through.
Guts and Glory is Ryan and I's kind of brainchild that we came together. We have a lot of similar interests in the fantasy genre, everything from Black Powder and Pike and Shot to just darker, more traditional fantasy elements. We love the pulps and that kind of a thing. And the more we talked, the more we came to the agreement that fantasy is kind of in danger right now of being over-sanitized, neutered, and is completely losing its sense of self and backbone. And as a young man in today's world, I do not feel like there's currently a lot of fantasy creators on the market tailoring cool shit for, I guess, my demographic of people. I'm a rowdy young dude. I like blood. I like kick-assery. I live in Alaska. I love hunting. I wake up to machine guns from the shooting range just a couple houses down, you know, like I'm in it to win it, and I'm sick of the pussification of fantasy. So there's only one real good way to fight it. It's not on Twitter. It's you create cool shit, and it takes a lot of effort and sweat and thought, but here we are. I'm ready to kick ass and burn shit. Let's go.
Preach, brother, preach.
The kids are all right, I tell you. I love it.
Get me riled up.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, so I mean, Like all of this is very much kind of a combination of Wonky and I realizing that we kind of share the same values in fantasy and want to see a change brought about. I kind of see this as our reconquista of role-playing games, because we're going to come in here and we're going to show you guys that, yeah, like someone else is going to pick up this torch of the traditional style of gaming, and we're going to, put our generation's stamp on it. And, for me, I almost feel like I have to take it back in like the name of my family honor. Just, for anyone out there who doesn't know me, Howard is not a coincidence. I am related to Robert E. Howard. And so
really,
yes, there's this
Holy
this
shit.
generational
That is
sense
cool.
within me that it's my duty. Just if I'm going to carry on that name, I've got to protect what Robert did.
Damn. Well, that blows me away. I just literally reread every Conan story over the last couple of months, and
Same
God, it
here.
was such a
Heck yeah, my
treat.
dude.
Yes. I want to go on to others, but actually before that, I'm rereading all the Lieber books again.
Mhm.
The Grey Mouser and Fawford.
What a
That
duo.
is awesome. Well,
Rex Teal in chat here has a question. How much did Berserk influence Nighthaven? Quite a bit. That Berserk is one of the few kind of modern properties that really has that gutsy, ballsy, edgy, this is not a happy place, but there's also like not this sense of nihilism. There's this kind of life affirming, I am going to fight and rage against the darkness until it literally kills me spirit in Berserk. And so like that energy is very compatible with what we have going on in both Bellefollow and Nighthaven here.
Chris Miller snuck in a super chat there, $2. You had me at blood and kick-assery.
I love that.
Someone else wanted to know if you have if you're running a bread and breakfast as well, because that sounds lovely.
No, but if you want to come party, you can come hang out. Yeah, that works. Yeah, come hang out with me. That's cool. I like friends.
How did you guys hook up?
It was a romantic evening. So let me we met at North Texas Game Convention. And I think we kind of just bumbled into each other. I was talking with Rocky Gardner, I believe.
Yep.
And we ended up in just one of those similar talking circles, and yeah, kind of kicked off from there.
Now, do you live in Cross Plains, Ryan?
No, I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. I heard Texas, and I started thinking, like, man, maybe he's going right to the source.
I need to make that pilgrimage. That needs to happen at some point.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I think T-shirted historian lives really close to there. I've posted a couple things, and he said, "Yeah, I go there quite a bit. I'm not too far away." So yeah, it would be a good pilgrimage one of these days. So yeah, let's look a little bit closer. So yeah, so you're getting, it's kind of like a 2-in-1, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
is this all one book, right?
Yeah, monster movie double feature.
I love stuff like that. See, stuff like that is really, really cool to me. Nice cover here for Heinous Harvest.
Yeah. That's my side of the adventure in my own world setting of Bellefollow, and then on the other flip side we have Ryan with his setting of Nighthaven. So Guts and Glory, this is the first one we're doing, but we're going to continue this as pretty much an annual thing going forward as we expand and build out these settings that we have been working on independently for so long. It's just now that together we kind of have complementary skill sets,
So do they can these settings, can they kind of intertwine, or do you think they're better separate?
Though not canonically, they are so tied in a lot of themes, because we're coming from both black powder settings. I see no reason why a DM, especially if you have your own world setting that you're running, couldn't easily pull from both of these. But technically they are different settings. Bellefollow, I have these crazy nightmares pretty much like every night, and this is kind of a conglomeration of that weird nightmare realm of mine. And
That's
Ryan
actually
has
in
his
the
own
description, wasn't it? Didn't I see that? real
Yeah,
quick?
probably.
Yeah.
I think I wrote something like that.
I think you're right. Yeah. I remember when I was reading this beforehand. Yeah. Crazy nightmares.
Indeed. Yeah.
Guys already have some stretch goals hit?
We do.
Right, we're knocking them out of the park. It's so exciting. So humbling.
Let's take a look at some... go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, just the Nighthaven side of things to give people a little bit of a primer on that side of the project. It is my take on urban adventuring and kind of fantasy city setting with a black powder flair to it. I like to call it like Lonkmar meets Sin City. That's kind of the vibe that I'm going for.
Nice.
And so the what you get on my side of the book is detailed information about the city gates and the district that surrounds the city gates of Nighthaven. You get a rundown on the city guard, how they operate, how they function, and then you get an adventure called Corpse Walk, which heavily features the city guard and is set within the confines of the city gates to kind of thematically tie the whole thing together and, give you scenarios in which you can use the knowledge that you learned from the first two parts and even, tools that you can carry over into your own urban setting should you so desire.
Yeah, I was going to ask, it sounds like, when you're talking city guard, that's something that's easily transferable to your home system or, whatever you're using. So.
Definitely.
Modern Necessities?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. James Gang, $2. Berserk has guts. There you go.
That it does.
That it does. Thank you, James. So let's look at some of the levels here. The reward levels. Volume 1 digital PDF, 1 PDF copy for $10. Pretty standard. Print on demand and PDF, $25. You think this is going to be at least like 150 pages, probably?
At least. Yep, absolutely. We're probably looking closer to maybe 170 in realistic, something like that. Realistically, after all the art gets in and all that kind of stuff, probably around 170-ish.
Yep. This is probably where I'm going to end up. G&G Volume 1, print on demand and PDF, $25. That looks like a winner to me.
Oh, but Double D, you could get drawn into Nighthaven, don't you know?
Could.
Uh-oh. I have to arm myself. Got some Glory Volume 1 limited edition. Now, this actually looks pretty cool. Softcover copy featuring a collectible wraparound cover. Ooh, actually, maybe I'll get this one.
Yeah, and those cover pieces you saw at the very top of the Kickstarter, there's going to be little posters of those bad boys going around as well. So that's exciting stuff. And we're going to have hex maps for each adventure included with those 250 limited edition books. And then it's not finished yet. It's not released, but we do have a special wraparound cover that's going to kick ass.
Yeah,
it's going to be cool.
All right. Were you guys?
And it comes with all the stock art. So everything, pretty much everything besides the covers and titles of our projects is going to be made into stock art for this project. So you can use all the cool stuff in it for your own projects.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
You got one there, Double D from Cal.
Thank you, Crazy Mouse. Our fearless moderator, Cal. Sell me on these settings.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more in detail. Is there anything more you guys can elaborate on? Thank you, Cal.
I would love to.
Absolutely.
Can I go first, Mr. Ryan?
Go for it.
Wonderful. All right, so let's start with Bellefollow. Bellefollow is not a traditional fantasy setting. I like dark fantasy. I like black powder, these kind of things for sure. But it also has a heavy amount of both Bronze Age and post-apocalyptic influences. It's a really grim, dark world. So within this, basically, my adventure, His Heinous Harvest, takes place over about a 200-mile region where you get a quest from a sketchy wizard, and then you have to hex crawl all the way across into past the borderlands, out beyond the known borders of society to this weird little puritanical religious colony. These are from the Crusaders of St. Gaetan. They're known as kind of like the religious nut jobs of my game world of Bellefollow. But this colony kind of went dark. No one really knows what happened. Sketchy wizard sends you to go grab his dragon egg there. And as soon as you get there, after passing through all kinds of trials and roll tables and other wilderness tribulations, you end up at this disgusting, weird, little decrepit village. Everyone's addicted to this nasty substance called giggle tar. Every single person has worms writhing in their bones and out of their soft tissues. And basically what happened is, in this town's fall from faith, led by the Baron himself, who felt very broken that the world wasn't wasn't handed to him on a silver platter. He dreamed up being this great king, and instead he got stuck in the middle of nowhere, ended up feeling miserable, and led his town to hell, quite literally. So great kind of pogroms happened, the old religion was washed away, and now you have a bunch of weird Manson family style creepy crawler drug addict nut jobs running this village off in the middle of nowhere. And the basic, so you get to this village, and then the main dungeon is this old decrepit estate. You can see it in the Kickstarter there. Down in those maps, and basically you find out that in this old manor house all kinds of weird whack shit's going on, but down below it is the Buried Man, which serves as this dungeon, and it's kind of like a Burning Man effigy, but shaped in the guise of the Baron himself, where all kinds of demoniacal nightmares are happening, and the giggle tar is made by basically these monsters. The tap daddies will stab into crucified people inside the chest of the Buried Man, and then that slime and goo will drip down into the pelvis, and then they bring it back up and recycle it into the people, creating this necromantic drug. It's fucking wild.
This was a dream?
Yeah.
Damn. That is woo.
How's that?
That is something else. We
had one in there.
Yeah, we have a super chat snuck in there. Eden's $10. Over the past year, this channel has really become the best for new content creators and D&D tradition mixed into one. Well, thank you so much. I am humbled, Eden's. I do appreciate that. I really do. It's nice to see others from my generation putting out this type of content. So you must be a little younger. Yeah, like I said, it's going to be in your hands, guys. You got to keep the flame alive. We'll chip in when we can.
Well, they're a bit younger than me, but yeah.
You look young, though.
A little bit,
yeah.
You're in.
Yeah.
We'll include you, Vic.
What, sorry?
I said we'll include you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 25 any day of the week until I look in the mirror.
Yeah, we're all.
I'm turning 40 this year, so.
Well, we still got you, Victor. We still got you.
But let's see if I can match what Wonky did there. Nighthaven. So Nighthaven is this city concept that I've been playing around with for a long time. But what really kind of started getting me thinking on the right track with what I want to do with Nighthaven was a conversation I had with Greg Gillespie when he was pitching Dragon Slayer, when he had his campaign open. I was asking him about urban adventuring, and he said to me that he has no interest in urban adventuring because in the city you are always safe. And immediately in my head, I went, that is completely not true. And I just got me thinking about all these different ways that a city is an adventuring environment, that a city presents danger that is all around you. However, you are not as well equipped as you would be out in the wilderness to deal with threats. Anyone in a crowd could have a knife or a gun or a sword and be able to kill you in an instant. But, would you even be able to see them coming? How do you deal with stuff like this in an adventuring environment? And so I added this, concept onto Nighthaven, which is this gang-infested city. It has this veneer of civility over top of it, kind of like a Gotham City or a mob movie New York, or even maybe a real life New York.
Yeah,
these
days, yeah.
But beneath the surface, just beneath the surface, you have this network of gangs and power brokers that are vying for control, real control of the city. The hard power is held by all of these crime syndicates and gangs. And then there's also this mystical element that underpins everything, because the city of Nighthaven is built next to a mountain range that has been formed over top of the corpse of a giant dead colossal dragon. So there's all of these dragon cults that have popped up around this city, and this city was at one point ruled by a dragon overlord. And so there's this kind of mystical darkness that lies kind of just out of sight in Nighthaven. And so most of the adventures will involve this darkness coming up to the surface, and how the players will deal with it and learn to coexist with this darkness or try to destroy it. That's where kind of the heart of the adventures of Nighthaven lie.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Fantastic. Man. For the record, I think you guys all know how much I love Greg. But I do tend to side with you on that one, Ryan.
Yeah.
And that, I think what Greg does in a lot of his, his super adventures, he has kind of like a small village, and maybe he has a point there, where you can kind of go back to, and it is sort of, a safe haven from the horrors that you're, visiting. But
Helix? Is that what you're talking about? Helix?
Yeah, Helix. Yeah, exactly. For
such a good
Barrel
village.
Yeah, it is.
That HR puff and stuff nod always gets me.
Tasty. Yeah, we learned. The very first time I had Greg on, and if you look in Barrow Maze, one of the pictures is really busted of one of the barmaids called Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through, and it just kind of didn't fit. So I felt like I had to ask him. I'm like, "Hey, Greg, what's going on with Tasty here?" And I'm like, "She looks real busted." And I put a picture up. We were all having a good laugh, and he just kind of sat with a smirk on his face, and he said, "Yeah, that's based off my ex-wife."
That's awesome.
I'm like, okay,
that is
say
so
no
good.
more.
Ouch.
But yeah, I do agree in that you do have to kind of, because our big city in Birthright is the Imperial City of Anur, and you definitely don't want players like afraid to go to the city, or they're going to constantly get shivved or get drawn into capers. But there should always be the lore of adventure in big cities, and they can kind of choose to follow up or not, right?
Right, and it's it is important for the players to have a safe harbor. When your adventuring environment is a city, when you kind of micro focus in on a city, and the way that Nighthaven's eventually going to be put together is a city-sized hex crawl. So when you have that, yes, you do have spots of safety, but they're going to be more like, here's the street where your stronghold is, or here's the district that you guys have cleaned up. Here's your little slice of paradise in the city that you have built up and taken care of. This is where you'll be safe. This is where everybody knows your name. Everywhere else, though, is the Thunderdome.
Greg
like
Gillespie is... Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, the big dangerous city is such a big part of like pulp stories and fantasy in general. Like, it's kind of a weird take. Like Longmar, somebody mentioned Red Nails, the
Tower of the Elephant.
There's a pretty famous book series called Hawk and Fisher that's just about like a married couple that are like city guards in this big city, and they're dealing with vampires and mad wizards and like all sorts of stuff. And then even like more modern stuff like Sin City, like I don't know, cities can be pretty dangerous, folks.
Dresden's version of Chicago.
Dresden's version, of Chicago. Yep.
Yeah, that opinion it can only be held by someone who has not spent a fair amount of time scumdogging through a city, realistically. Because, like, unless you're... I don't know how else you can say that. Like, cities are sketchy as all F. I used to work overnights at a gas station in downtown Denver. What are you talking about? This place is full of adventure.
Well, I'm a rural boy. I'm a rural Dutch man. I've never even been to Amsterdam, but I've seen enough American movies to know that your cities are awful.
Thank you.
Hell,
I love that.
The Warriors. The Warriors is an entire movie that's basically a hex crawl through a hostile city.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna guess that was kind of an inspiration.
Oh yeah,
Ryan.
Oh yeah, I love the Warriors.
Yeah,
it's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
It is,
and I'm glad that they've never tried to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they always
Thank
talk
goodness.
about it, but they never do. And thank goodness.
They'd fuck it up big time if they tried to.
the discussing about the underlying of the city, each of these settings reminds me of a town just across the border that I talk about every now and then when I drive through it.
God, yeah, we have a small town over the border. It's in New York, but it has a reputation of. Go ahead.
It has a reputation, honestly, people disappearing.
Yeah,
fun.
And every time I've driven, I would like. before I had an older gentleman hooked me up on some stories about the place. And that's a different story right there. But ever since I drove through there, I went to see some concerts at a couple bars in there. But driving through this place, I've always had the heebie-jeebies. I'd stop at the local grocery store to grab some things before going out to camp, and like, damn, these people are watching me.
Yeah, they call them the watchers.
The watchers.
Like
yeah,
you go into like the grocery store.
And I am. We've talked about this at length in the past. I am deadly serious about it. I've been through that town and in it a whole bunch of times. I just can't wait to get out of it.
It is like an 80s horror movie, according to some people. Like you'll go into the local grocery store just to pick up stuff on the road, and you'll be doing this, and like you'll literally like turn around and there's like 5 people just slack-jawed staring at you like.
Those places exist, man. It's just real. Del Nevada being one of them. The place is sketch.
Have you ever been to Crested Butte?
Oh, I'd like to.
I used to live in Crested Butte.
Yeah, Crazy Mouse used to live there for a short time.
For about 6 or 7 months. Crested Butte, and for anybody who doesn't know where it is, it's exactly in the middle of Colorado. Like, exactly.
AKA Crusty Butt.
I called it Crusty Butt as a joke at a grocery store. I thought I was going to get shivved. It was some lady just went off on me. And I'm not going to say she was a Karen. It was me. It was my fault.
You dissed their town.
I dissed their town.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I apologized profusely. I said it was just a bad joke and it was my fault. And I was definitely an outsider and I should have kept my mouth shut. Yeah.
You almost got the torch and pitchfork.
Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Hungar. 6 months. Thank you for re-upping. Nice. I appreciate it. Yeah, so there's always, like, I'm going to guess, Wonky, like, you probably just have stories racing in your head from like working at a gas station. I mean,
oh, constantly. Okay, so like my favorite was my first night there because I got hired on to be the overnight dude. So my first night there, I had a very negligent manager, and she's like, "You know how to work a cash register? Great, go do that." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Hey, how can I help you?" Doing the gig. It's like 2:00 in the morning, and this dude with a backpack and no shirt, kind of wigged out. We called them wooks, is what I would refer to them as. The modern hippie kind of people. They live in vans and take way too much dose. But he kind of leans into me across the counter. He's like, "There's voices in my head telling me to kill myself." And then he like crawls in the donut case and starts screaming and beating his head on the counter. Dude's stealing the electrical wiring out of the back of the place. I'm on the phone with the police trying to help, do what I can. My manager's off smoking or something like that. I end up handing the phone over to this crazy dude in the donut case, and he's like, "My backpack's filled with mushrooms and I'm gonna kill myself." It was awesome. And that was like a weekly occurrence, and I walked there every day, and I'd have to walk past this prison. All kinds of crazy shit happened. I love being adventurous in life. It's one of the things I find a lot of joy in.
Yeah, I don't know if like either like Ryan or Victor, if you guys have had like menial jobs, but you do. Yeah, they do tend to have a very profound impact on you. Like I worked at Pizza Hut for like 7 years, and I still probably learned everything I needed to learn about working and life at Pizza Hut.
Mm-hmm. I never worked retail, but I've been a construction worker. I was a carpenter and stuff like that. So I've got the missing fingertips to prove it. So yeah.
Oh geez, how many?
3 missing fingertips. See you can kind of see my thumb. Let's see, my thumb is one thumb is shorter than the other.
Yeah.
So
what happened?
Awesome.
A planing machine, basically.
Oh,
where you like push the wood over it and it smooths out one side instead of smooth it out my fingers. So
and it did it fast too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like when it happened, I mean, did you even have time to contemplate? Was it just like, oh shit?
No, I just felt kind of like something hit my fingers and my hand kind of went like, ooh. And then I remember cursing. And then I looked at my fingers, and like blood was like squirting like 6 feet out into the room, and from like 3 fingers. I'm like, oh, so yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Your face at that time just must have been shock, horror, confusion.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I still have the Timberland boots with like the blood stains on them. I should probably throw those away, but
they look like a crime scene.
Yeah.
How about you, Ryan? Any log any time at bad jobs?
I was a waiter for a while. I was a busboy. I worked for a couple years it was also a pizza restaurant. It was Uncle Mattio's Pizza. And then I was the concession stand guy at my local movie theater for a little bit too. And that was not a fun job.
Yeah, that's.
Did you ever bust anybody going at it in the theater? Or?
No, the closest that we came.
Filmed.
I was working the Valentine's Day that 50 Shades of Grey was released.
Oh, brother.
And I have never seen more drunken middle-aged women in one place at one time than
That's
on
my hunting ground
that night. Oh,
God. All right, this dude's my spirit.
Give him the giggle tar, Wonky.
Yes! Oh, my people.
Gonna catch me a cougar.
Dude, cougars love me.
Ryan, did you get hazard pay for this?
I should have, because we went into that movie theater after the last showing, and it looked like a bomb went off in there. We found
that was me.
We found an empty bottle of Jameson's, and we did not sell Jameson's at this movie theater. So that means someone snuck in and drank an entire bottle of Jameson's during that 2-hour movie.
Two swigs, pass it down.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I didn't see anyone who looked like they killed a bottle of Jameson's, but someone did.
It's kind of impressive when you think about it. Even if that's a couple killing a bottle of JMO.
Yeah.
That's kind of all right. All right. Just saying.
Wow. Yeah, those jobs build character.
They do.
100%. Yeah, that you know, I think of guys who just kind of go straight from a college, you know, never work, and then they get hired. The one I always bring up is Monty Cook, you know, who undeniably has talent, but he seemed to always brag like, yeah, I never had to work, you know, any of those kind of jobs in my life, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, okay, are you depriving yourself of something by not? I mean, you learn a lot about people, do you not?
Yeah.
You learn a lot about humanity when I think a lot of people would be a lot less, I don't want to say like kind, but when you do deal with like the public, you realize that not everybody is good or, you know, worthy of, you know, your forbearance.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And like, you know, that's kind of an odd reality for me is I'm not a typically like a standard educated person. I don't really have a lot of career opportunities in today's job market. I kind of got forced into being an artist because it was either do this and follow my dream and be broke or be at Walmart the rest of my life. Like those are the options I had on the table. I could either put all the chips down and go for this wholeheartedly with all my heart, you know, with all my heart, or like I was getting job rejections from Taco Bell.
It's not Taco Bell timber.
I'm not
Wonky. Well, boy,
so,
it's their loss, man.
Like
Alaskan Taco Bell sounds weird. Like that's like literally like the opposite end of like the continent, basically.
That was in Denver. Yeah, I wouldn't trust it up here.
Yeah.
I always brag we have a McDonald's though.
Yeah. Ooh, fancy dining. How many Michelin stars does it have?
More than anywhere else around here. I'm just kidding. We have great fish.
I'm watching the show Northern Exposure with Mrs. D, and it's set up in Alaska, but I think they filmed it in Washington, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right. A lot of that is filmed in Washington. Like the Alaskan Bush people got very famous for being on the island right across from me, except all of their show was filmed in Washington, and then they would just fly here and like walk around town being pompous cockhead snobs, and like the town hates them. We have posters hanging up from shops like "Don't worship false Alaskans" with their picture and X's over their faces. It's awesome.
That's hilarious.
Good.
Yeah.
Is it a pretty insular community up in Alaska still?
It really depends on where you're at. So I'm in kind of a more remote location. I'm technically in Ketchikan, and we have about 10,000 people spread about 40 miles of coastline on an island, and I'm off in the woods on the far north end of the island. I don't really have too many neighbors or anything. I always say my backyard is about 8 hectares of swamp and mountain.
I have a balcony, so I don't know.
Hell yeah, my dude.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a windmill across the way.
Yeah.
There is. Balcony's all you need, though. I love balconies.
Well, I can't even go on it because I have cats, and one of them fell off once, and I don't want to repeat of that. So
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Damn. Take care of yourself,
cats,
Victor. We got fingertips missing. You're taking dives,
tossing cats off the roof.
Yeah.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Pets' heads are falling off. So, well, I guess we'll start with you, Victor. Like, how is the progress coming on your Kickstarter? I think yours was maybe due March of next year for the final, like probably print versions, I would imagine.
Yeah, but that's mostly just to give myself enough time in case something crazy happens, because I work really quickly when I knuckle down on it. Like the original Modern Necessities, I wrote in like 3 weeks, and that was like almost 100 pages. So if I put my mind to something, I just don't really sleep, and I'm just sitting here like on energy drinks, just writing, and then it's done. So I'm hoping to have the main book done like maybe a couple months after the Kickstarter ends, and then I'm just gonna handle all the stretch goals like in order, and yeah.
Now, are you doing the all the layout too?
I'm doing like all the main layout because I like doing the layout while I'm working on the book because I don't know, it just keeps me more engaged than staring at like a bland like WordPad file, you know. So I kind of do like the rough layout, and then I have a friend who does like professional layout basically that I'm just gonna send it to afterwards, and she's gonna like touch it up and fancy it up a little. So yeah,
nice. So it looks like you're
almost you more than doubled your goal.
Yeah, which is awesome. I hit my goal in like 24 hours, which was amazing. And then, the rest has just been gravy, basically.
Yep, that's awesome.
Which,
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah. Well, especially since my first Kickstarter for the 5e book, and I was like a complete unknown at the time. And then Everyday Heroes came out around the same time, which really stole my thunder, basically. So that was like literally like I made my goal the last like day. So that was like just 30 days of like stress. Like, am I even going to make this? So making this one in like 24 hours was such like a relief. Was like amazing.
Mm-hmm. So you had like a Tombstone / Wyatt Earp situation.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then it's like, oh, here's Everyday Heroes, just made $500,000, and they've got like adventures for Escape from New York and Highlander, and like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, but I kind of won in the end because apparently they're going out of business. So I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Oh, are they really? Yeah,
I don't know anyone who plays Everyday Heroes.
Yeah.
I've never heard.
Yeah, they got involved in like crypto and like weird shit. So yeah.
That's always a winning ticket, That's where I'd invest.
Yeah.
Victor gets the last laugh.
Yeah.
Right.
How about you guys? How close, like progress wise, you guys just making good, steady progress?
Yeah. Writing's coming along really well. I think we're like 99.9% finished with all of that. I don't know if Ryan has much left on his project. HHH, I have the stretch goals to write up at this point, which is 4 characters. So I'm feeling pretty gravy about that. The big thing is art trickling in, being the only artist with a big book like this. Mm-hmm. I know I made Ryan wait way too long on that cover. He was probably getting ready to strangle me. But beyond that...
now you're doing a lot of the art.
He's doing all of the art.
All of it, all the art, all the maps. That's me, baby.
That's awesome.
You did this.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Holy shit, dude.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, these are my
I love that one, but for some reason I was kind of drawn to this one. I guess I'm just drawn to kind of spookier stuff too, and
that's fair.
This is really good too. Oh my god, this is.
Mm-hmm. So those two are going to be of the standard print-on-demand version. That's going to be the front and back cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's exciting there, and then you'll see it internally on the special cover one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I saw that you guys already hit your goal as well, almost doubled it.
It's killing. Yep. I'm so excited. Like, I don't know.
Congratulations. That's a great feeling.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yep.
Now,
system-wise, where do you is this kind of more kind of like generic for a lot of different systems, or is this kind of for maybe one over others?
The phrase that we use is it is compatible with your favorite D20 based role-playing game. So pretty much anything that falls into the BX category, anything that falls under OSR, pretty much any edition with D&D. I would scratch my head if you tried to run this in 4th edition, but
That's fair.
That's just because
That's
you're
fair.
running
That's a
fourth
whole
edition.
different thing, though. They have like very different mechanics. I think 3, 5, and 5th would be pretty easy to run HHH within. I don't see, because I accounted for both ascending and descending armor class within this. And then if you can't read D Sword 2, D6, you're a moron and shouldn't be buying this book. You know, that's kind of what I'm coming down to. Is we're all at what this kind of came from is something I was actually hoping we could maybe talk to you about, and that's it's very hard to choose a game to write for in the modern OSR because it very much feels like a schism between all of the people kicking ass. I love Greg Gillespie and Dragon Slayer. I love Matt Finch and Swords and Wizardry. OSE's not my personal flavor, but that's we have 90 million games coming out at all points in time. They're unending, but they're all trying to accomplish the same thing. And I'm not convinced that a rule system people run at their own table is synonymous with how an adventure should be written and ran. Because there's one thing, if you want to include specialty mechanics, like DCC is a great example. They have all kinds of fun specialty mechanics you can play around with. But the core of what an adventure module is has nothing to do with the game system being written or being played, you know? So this is kind of our stand against that, as I feel like there has been a little bit of a failure on the people we build atop in providing a concrete go-to banner to stand behind with what is the OSR even. What does it mean? We don't even have an answer for a goddamn title. How can I devote a career?
Could be one of those things, you know, like some of our opponents might say, like, diversity is our strength. Well, we actually have, but we actually have diversity, you know, where it counts, sort of diversity in thought.
Strength is our strength. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm the buffest man in North America, baby.
Yeah, Tora has hit the nail right on the head. Yeah, you give us hope.
Thank you.
Monkey.
We got $1 million super chat.
Oh, my Lord. Jeffrem, hey, good to see you, my friend. $2 Canadian. Hi, gentlemen. Thoughts on the combat wheelchair? Oh,
how
boy.
spicy you want to get?
Yeah.
Because I got opinions.
$1 million.
It stinks.
I was planning on touching on it, so I thought this was...
Okay, before we go down the negative on the wheelchair thing, though, there are like 1 or 2 good circumstances of it being used in fantasy. The only one I'm really thinking of is in the anime show Avatar. There's a really cool flying wheelchair. It's the only time I've seen it implemented well. Now I'm ready to trash this idea.
Yeah, I mean, as a kind of a curiosity.
Yeah, it was a fun, cool
it could be, it could work for sure. But I mean, all right. So where this all came from is, you know, Daggerheart in their playtest material kind of reopened these wounds. They said playing physically disabled characters, section in progress, and then they call out combat wheelchair coming soon. And then underneath it, playing blind, deaf, or mute characters. You know, it's fine. Mm-hmm. So they sort of want you to take a shot, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know, dumping on handicapped people, and it's not really the point. So I'll let you guys all of you guys have at it.
The floor is yours.
The floor is yours.
A lot of my thoughts on adventuring is based around B2, Keep on the Borderlands, and I am a devout hiker. I go hiking every day, and you're not bringing a wheelchair up that goddamn mountain.
Yes.
Oh, also HHH involves stairs. I'm not shitting on anybody. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your sensibilities and sensitivity means nothing to me.
Yes, the way it should be. We'll sneak this in here before the rest of you guys can weigh in. Mercurius, $2 Australian. No further opinions on the combat wheelchairs.
Shut it down.
I mean, like, honestly, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, we all know this is cringe. We all know this is stupid. And like, that's kind of the like, I just keep hearing that Styx song in my head. Haven't we been here before? You know, like,
I always forget you can sing.
How many times are we gonna just like keep relitigating this nonsense? Everyone knows it's stupid. It's it gives us an opportunity to say, look at this moronic
idiocy, and then it looked, us calling out how obviously stupid all of this is just gives the people who set the trap up a chance to go, look, they're being bigoted again. And like, it's all it is we're all going to end up on the same sides of this anyway. Everyone knows, every single person, even the people who are in favor of this thing, knows that it's completely impractical in a world with magic, in a world with all kinds of different solutions. You're not going to have a friggin' wheelchair. Even if you have lost your ability to walk, you're a paraplegic. You could have spider legs. You could cut your legs off and replace them with magical legs. You could, someone in my chat last night mentioned you could put your consciousness in the body of a warforged if you so wanted to. There's all kinds of solutions to this. It's just to signal that you're a good person. That's the only reason this exists. And so, like, no, I'm not going to acknowledge it. If someone says I want a combat wheelchair in your home game, Ryan, I'm going to say you can find another group. It's not happening here. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't acknowledge that this exists. Yep. These people are not playing the same game that I'm playing.
It's a different
They
species.
don't matter. They might as well be like monkeys playing with sticks.
Yep. James Gang, $5. I like to park in handicap spaces while handicapped people make handicap faces.
I'm an asshole.
I love that.
I love it.
I love that.
Thank you, James. Chris Miller, $2. If magic exists, why not fix your legs? Bingo. You get the...
I like the spider legs thing. I like that.
That is cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's...
We had a character who had a chicken leg, right?
Chicken
Oh,
leg.
yeah, chicken leg.
Well,
hold on, Double
demon
D.
leg.
Hold on.
You got it?
All you.
Go ahead, Victor. I'm sure you have thoughts too, I guess, before I give mine.
So I'm actually legally disabled in real life, 100% disabled according to the government. So obviously I have nothing against disabled people. I just don't like it being used for activism and virtue signaling by basic bitch American liberals. So I've played like blind characters because I love that movie, like Blind Fury with Rutger Hauer. I'm a big fan of the Zatoichi movies, stuff like that. So I wanted to play a blind sword fighter, so I had to take the blind fighting feat and like all this stuff. But there were still drawbacks. My character couldn't sprint because he would fall flat on his face. That's a pretty big drawback when like orcs are like chasing you. But that's like half the fun of it. So yeah, if you are going to play a character with a disability, either you play the drawback or you find an in-universe way to like fix your disability. You get like magical assistance, you get like cybernetics, whatever. So yeah, like I said, I just don't like it being used for activism. And that's what all it boils down to. It's activism, it's the culture war, and they can go fuck off with that shit.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Gavin played a blind character.
Yes.
And he did a great job with it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, our friend Gavin, he got blind though as a result of something that happened, didn't play, but he went with it and he did a magnificent job.
$8 million super chat.
Oh,
damn.
my Lord. Damn. Patrick Demo. $10. Thank you so much, Patrick. In a world where folks can conjure fire and heal goddamn death, who in the hell would willingly handicap themselves? I play regularly with a blind man, and he never plays a character with a handicap. Well,
yeah,
exactly. And I guess the way these chairs are presented too, they're almost like souped up tanks in a way. So it's they're handicapped in name only because they do have to make allowance for like, oh well, this just kind of gets up. It doesn't need to get upstairs; it'll just hover.
You got your ion stone wheel spinners.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like everybody would want one of these things. Yeah. You'd get so many people gold bricking, like, oh my god, I can't walk anymore. Can I get one of those?
Turns into that movie WALL-E where everyone's floating around.
Yes. Any thoughts, Rogan?
I agree completely about it. When the first time I heard about it. We discussed it. It's appalling. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, I look at it maybe a little sideways. Like if you're a handicapped person playing RPG games and you have the opportunity to jump into fantasy and pretend to be something that you're not, would you want to play a person that you relate to, or would you want to be the person that can run, to be vibrant? They can climb that mountain and swing that sword. I think it's an appalling situation.
For some people, there's no hope, though. It's like, no, you can't have hope.
I just want to complain about something.
Again, the impression I got is people with an agenda that never played RPGs are sliding themselves into TSR and stuff like that, as we're seeing, and starts putting these agendas, and people that have been playing that that are soft in the skull are like, yeah, what about that? The wheelchair, I want magic crutches.
It's kind of my worry, because Ryan does have a good point. Like, how many times are we going to do this? In the same respect, I think it's our obligation to call it out and call it retarded every time it does come out, because you start then to end up where we're at with like the safety tools, where people were like, well, what's the big deal? Just don't use them at your table. Except now that if you go to any of the big conventions, I think a lot of them are kind of like really pushing for, any games that you run to have freaking safety tools. Well, let's look down the road 10 years. I mean, obviously people on our end would laugh it off, but like Wizards of the Coast, are they going to mandate like, oh, you design this dungeon in this new book we're doing? It doesn't have a ramp.
Well,
you may think that's a joke, but I sincerely believe that is a possibility.
Yeah, there's no emergency exit. We can't have that.
Well,
we have to have an emergency exit.
They can mandate all they like, but the fact of the matter is, the solution is to offer an alternative where you're like, hey, all that stupid shit that you don't like that WotC's doing. You don't like all the, ADA accommodations that have been put in your dungeons? Why don't you come over here and play Guts and Glory? Why don't you come play Modern Necessities? Why don't you play one of these other games where you don't have to deal with stupid shit? And then once enough people start to realize, hey, this isn't fun anymore. We're not actually playing a game anymore. We're playing, as Wonky likes to say, Barbie dress up. We're not actually playing role-playing games anymore. Then the people who actually want to play role-playing games are going to come find our role-playing game. So we fight this by creating something better and just being like, all right, yeah, you guys can have your little like crack shack island over there. We're building a castle over here.
Let me tell you about my character.
Well done. Yeah, exactly. Well done. And I know I'm pecking away. I'm not doing a Kickstarter, but I'm going to try to self do a adventure. And Rogan's a pretty good artist himself.
Yeah.
So
sweet.
We're doing our
love
thing.
It.
So yeah, it's like
I love it.
You can you can bitch, but also produce too if you can.
Yeah,
bitch
exactly.
and produce. Yeah. Go ahead, Victor.
So, well, the problem is, because somebody mentioned, it's like, well, you don't have to use it at your table, and that's always kind of like that go-to like answer. But that always comes with the is it the word caveat, whatever you pronounce it in English. It always comes with the caveat. It's like, yeah, you don't have to use it at your table if you want to be a bigot. It's like like it always comes with that scarlet letter that you're like some awful person if you don't want to use it. And I'm like,
you are basically Hitler.
Yeah. And by the way,
no, literally, you're
literally.
Yeah. In Modern Necessities, you could make a character in a wheelchair. You could be like some sniper. Like people might remember the movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. The bad guy in that was like a sniper in a wheelchair, and he was like one of the best snipers in the world. And they would just park him in like a tower with like a rifle on a tripod, and he would shoot people. Like, yeah, you could play a character like that. But there's going to be setbacks. Stairs are going to be a problem, probably. You're going to need, your team members to carry you up to, that rooftop or that window. To so that's all I ask.
What's that guy's name in Metal Gear Solid 3? The End.
The End. He's like an old man.
They basically just dump him out of his chair, and he sits there until someone shows up and he shoots him.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't have quote unquote representation. I mean, you can have NPCs in wheelchairs. You can have maybe retired, injured characters in wheelchairs. It's just simply ludicrous to think that we're going to go to the Dungeon of Doom and who's going to push, so-and-so. If you have a legit disability, You either got to roll that fucking thing, or somebody's got to push your ass through how many miles of swamp and forest, and then it's just so stupid.
Can you imagine actually fighting in a wheelchair? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Well, that's where they have to make it not a handicap. So it completely defeats the purpose. Oh, we want representation. You're not given representation. You're given a souped up, a tank essentially to somebody. Patrick Demo, real quick.
Appeasement.
Yep.
Then you can jump in there, Ryan. Patrick Demo, $5. Safety tools, X cards, permission slips. Why are the freaks trying to blur the lines between role-playing games and sex role-playing? Yep, there's a little bit of that.
Well, safety tools are literally invented by they literally come from like bondage, like BDSM, like culture. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Huh.
Got to remember that safe word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
But Bleeker here in chat, this is kind of buried if you want to bring it up. This was a while back. He was bringing up the point, at what point do we ask, why would anyone want to adventure with someone with a handicap like this? It almost makes me want to come up with one of those Dark Sun style alignment charts where, like in Dark Sun, it shows here's what every alignment does when there's a shortage of water, but it would be here's how every alignment tells the person in the wheelchair to stay home.
Yeah.
Lawful good, I will bring you a share of my treasure if you just stay home. Lawful evil, you should be executed. Chaotic evil, I will push you down the first staircase that I see. True neutral, you will get in my way. We could go on. We could do this all night.
So the Witcher role-playing game has wheelchairs, and it's like, okay, for anyone that's played like the Witcher games, especially Witcher 3, like the fighting style is all about like twirling and like moving around. You're dealing with some pretty scary stuff, like griffins like swooping down. It's like how do you do that in a wheelchair as a Witcher? Are you like popping wheelies or like spinning on like one and like how does that work? Like you would die instantly as a Witcher. If I was like the leader of the Witchers and like my Witcher was in a wheelchair, it's like, no, you get to sit here in the castle and be our scribe or something. You're not going out and fighting monsters anymore. Sorry.
Exactly.
Make potions. Go make potions.
Yeah, basically.
Go do the laundry.
Do you guys want to do a quick little EFAP of a video I saw today on Twitter?
Yeah, I don't know what an EFAP is, but let's do it.
Every frame a pause.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, fancy.
All right.
About my fucking situation. They know that I'm homeless. It's not like I have a bed I
Couldn't
can
tell.
fucking crawl up in and take a nice.
I'd tap that.
Or not, but I just need a fucking rant. Universal Labor Support just fucking called me. And
What is universal labor support? Is that something American or?
Well, she's speaking very good American.
It's where, you've got like a staffing shortage at your job, and so they bring in the reanimated corpse of Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren, and they fill in as a temp for a day. That universal labor. There you go. That's what you got.
Wow.
Falling on hard times if they're down to this one.
And the first thing they fucking did is fucking dead name me.
Oh, Jesus.
Ay, ay, ay.
I have a friend who just renamed himself, and the whole dead name thing has been coming up, and I want to fucking strangle him. I don't care that he changed his name, but don't be a little bitch when someone calls you the wrong name. Ugh.
It's the same kind of like mentality when you meet someone and their name is like, you think their name is Matt, like, oh hey Matt, and then they look at you and they say it's Matthew.
Right.
Or Chris.
Yeah.
I prefer Christopher.
You called me Chris with a C, and I'm Chris with a K.
Yeah. It's like, how could you tell?
Instead, the reaction's like, you slaughtered my parents kind of level. Like, no, chill out.
Yeah, this is crazy. Go ahead.
And like the thing with this, this person is going to be ranting about how they're homeless. Yes, you can change your name, but if this universal labor, whatever it is an office of the government, if you haven't filed the correct paperwork, then according to the government, the people who you have to give taxes to or you go to jail, no, your name is still the other name. So
yeah,
if it matters that much, you might want to get on that.
Yeah.
You can follow this person at Spooky Yuki Dude.
I won't do that.
Dude. Well,
That's what it means, right? Underneath the TikTok at Spooky Yuki Dude.
TikTok at Spooky Yuki.
No,
What's
briefly,
a Yuki? I don't know what a Yuki.
she had mentioned prior that when this first popped up, how she lives in her car, she doesn't have a place to stay, but she certainly has enough money to spend $150 a month on a phone. Or $75 a month on.
Let's continue. Let's see what her issues are.
Love that. We're off to a really fucking good start.
Aren't
They
we?
ask if I'm available for a fucking shift. In 9 fucking weeks, they have not fucking scheduled me.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, they don't know who you are.
We put you on the schedule. You're choosing not to read the right name.
No call, no showed for a week.
I'm Danielle.
Yes, something tells me she's not employee of the month material. It could just be me, but
if she'd smile more, she'd be pretty.
And you gave us the wrong number.
Yeah. That's my dead number.
Crazy Mouse
Nice
coming
mouse,
at you.
nice.
Before you continue, you got $5.
Oh yeah,
Mickey
Boss
Holler.
Bully Boy. I like that name. They can use it at their own tables too, instead of infringing this BS into the hobby. Referring back to the wheelchair, absolutely.
Yeah, and like the
Boss Bully
thing
Boy.
with
Thank
that, not to derail what we're doing right now, but the thing with that, Boss Bully, is you have to make them realize that their position is not the popular one. Right now, they feel empowered to, make declarations about what happens at your table because they think they have the power, and it's our job to tell them, no, you don't. You can, here's where to go and what to kiss.
But they do have the power.
They do.
Coddle culture has told them they have the power. Because unless you play with the be nice or else mentality, then you are out. And that is, they do have a lot of power in that,
I get a feeling maybe from the last time, this really flared up. It's a little different just because of Twitter, and Elon owning it. It just seems like a different vibe now. It's like you can point out how stupid these people are, and for the first time, they seem like they're really on the run.
Well, Elon is doing that himself now. Like I see him mention respond to stuff and calling it stupid. It's hilarious.
Right.
That's why you didn't get scheduled. You're not old enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we don't hire child labor. Let us continue.
First of all, mostly everyone who calls from labor support knows me as fucking Matt.
As fucking Max.
Now, is that fucking Max or is it Max? Damn it, it's Max.
I really hope Paul can get sober.
What's your name tag say? Fucking Max?
Fucking Max.
And what happened to Max Liao since the last time I was on Legion of Meth?
Ouch.
Yeah.
Shots fired, Max. Shots fired.
Spooky Yuki doesn't like it.
This person does seem like they are like, I had, my son this age. Seemed like one of my son's friends, like Nixit said, like a 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
This is
I bet
supposed
she's
to
like
be a
22.
man.
Spooky Yuki just reminds me of Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Fuzzy Wuzzy, Spooky Yuki.
Mm-hmm.
Not fucking dead name. Getting off to a really fucking good start right there, aren't we? Second.
It's kind of like when an Indian person is like an Eastern Indian person is like screaming, you kind of like smirk because it's like, how dare you do that to me, sir? It's like, you're kind of like, all right, I know you're mad. Just let me collect myself, please, for a moment.
Well,
I have all the respect in the world for you, but that voice is just,
Well, the funny thing is, flipping out like this in your car is kind of like a womanly thing to do. It doesn't really make you come off like a man. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Great. That's a great point. Yeah. Dudes generally don't do this. The only dudes that do this are womanly men.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much everyone I talk to knows about my fucking situation. They know that I'm homeless. It's not like I have a bed I can fucking crawl up in and take a nice fucking goddamn nap.
Well,
guarantee she talks about it every 10 minutes.
Yep.
Did you know, by the way, I'm homeless?
Why haven't you got work in 9 weeks? You want to know why you don't have a bed to sleep in? Look in the mirror, princess. Look in that mirror.
Look at that face. That is
You were
the
just
face.
shaming HR.
Somewhere out there are some very disappointed parents.
This person did not grow up with a father.
I think Mrs. Mrs. Double D played this character in that game.
Which one?
Tilda Swinton.
Okay, I think this is Tilda Swinton. it kind of does a little bit, yeah. Little different hair there, yeah. You ain't passing as a man, quote unquote, Max. I'm sorry.
Fucking Max.
Fucking Max.
She looks crazy.
I don't have a fucking accessible shower.
Oh, and she smells.
Yep, that's
great.
That's why
Probably
we're
like
not scheduling
patchouli.
you.
I bet you she doesn't shave too.
That's why you're not.
That's
getting
okay.
scheduled.
Hey,
Yep.
don't be hurting on the hair.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're Alaskan. You like that stuff. You like a good
Don't you
Sasquatch.
diss the beaver.
Yeah, this is crazy too.
Where to keep my fucking dog?
So she's got a car, she's got a dog, she's got a job. She just doesn't have a apartment, I guess.
Pure
No,
entitlement.
she has a job, but they can't schedule her.
That's right. Yeah.
So she does. She has a non-paying job.
She's being ghosted in the workforce.
Yeah. Boy, this would be like like a break glass if needed employee. Like you have to be really hard up. Just think of her boss. Like obviously her boss deals with this, and it's like, sorry boss, we are down like 6 people. Like literally nobody can man the grill tonight. You go over there and it's like,
Yeah. Bring this person in, but keep security close by.
Yep, fucking Max, you're on.
Well, that's okay. She's already in the parking lot.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. She really just parks out back there, boss. So.
Before you start again, Double D, you got one.
Yeah, she got crazy eyes. She certainly does, Chris. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, I've got to step away for a second. I will be right back.
Yeah, no problem.
He's going to
talk a lot of
call
shit.
fucking Max and give her a job.
Wash
Let's
some fucking
continue.
dishes.
And they're trying to fucking schedule me on Sunday. No fucking notice. Nobody.
I bet she needed to go to
Oh
church.
my god.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, your dance card is full on Sunday, sister. I don't know.
They calls me and says, "Hey, yo, we want to schedule you now." No, they ask if I'm available to their fucking needs after they.
I don't even know what to say at this point, honestly.
So they need to hire you. You need to work when there's customers. That's
Yeah,
that's
an
weird.
employer asking me to do things for them for money.
I thought the whole thing was she couldn't get the actual work. No, she's rejecting the work. Oh,
It's
jeez
on
Louise.
Sunday.
I have so much faith in my generation. I really do. We're awesome.
I think men of your generation are starting to figure it out. Like
It's a weird balance. There's a definite split between those who have chosen the doom spiral and those who have been like, wait, this is a mud pit. Maybe we can be friends and help each other out and climb out together. It's a weird split between people.
I bet her. I wonder if her next complaint is, and they want to pay me $18 an hour. I don't get out of bed for 22. You know.
I mean, if she's anywhere, I mean, we don't account Alaska because that's that's probably already minimum wage up there, isn't it? Wonky. I mean,
Really depends on what you're doing.
yeah.
Fishermen may think sometimes.
Everywhere here, it's like you go anywhere and it's like McDonald's is hiring $13 an hour, 14.
Well, we
sometimes.
only have one of those, so that's a competitive industry for our youth here.
They're all vying. What about you, Victor? What's the minimum wage situation like over there? Is it higher?
I actually have no idea. I haven't been in the workforce in so long. Like, I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
I just get my disability, and my disability is like 75% of minimum wage, I believe, and I get about 13,000 a year. So yeah.
Do they cap it if you start making money like you would on the Kickstarter? Or do they try to find out about that stuff?
They don't do it with crowdfunding. They do it with sales and stuff like that. Once this Kickstarter is done, I'm actually gonna go talk to them about what's happening and that stuff is going on. But they got in trouble a couple years back because some handicapped kid that was working at a supermarket, they gave him some money because he had been working there for 20 years, and then they showed up and took his money away, and everyone was outraged. So they changed the law, so crowdfunding and gifting and stuff isn't counted towards that. So I can make $1 million on Kickstarter and they won't touch it. except for the tax man.
Somebody was saying they feed homeless people to the grizzly bears in Alaska.
Sadly, where I live, we don't have those. We only have doll black bear. And another weird thing, a lot of states on the West Coast actually ship their homeless people to Alaska. Like if you're a reoccurring problem child, they'll send you on the milk run and pretty much give you a way up to pretty much wherever, because you have to go through various stops on the ferry system on the way up. Ketchikan's the first stop off, and realistically, let's just speak openly, a lot of these people have some real harsh addictions, let's call it. So you want to get off and scratch that itch on the first stop, day 3 of the ferry. So our town gets flooded with homeless people.
It's got to be like being sent like up to the wall in the Song of Ice and Fire. You know?
That's kind of the vibe. Yeah.
Alaska is the new Australia.
Yeah, Alaska's the new Australia. Yeah.
The last frontier.
They fucked me over for 9 fucking weeks. Go fuck yourself, Universal.
All right, so Universal has already found out about this because our old friend Chaya Rychek, aka Libs of TikTok, like featured this. So this poor person, I don't want to say this poor person, but your employer found out about it because that tweet probably got 100,000 views at least.
Well, they probably got inundated by emails and stuff like that. How dare you treat fucking Max this way? How dare you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there'll probably be a couple of those in there. I think for the most part, people are like, I hope you fired fucking Max.
Fuck you for dead naming me. Fuck you for not changing my fucking name on my ID. Fuck you for not understanding my situation. Fuck you for being transphobic. I am so fucking done with companies fucking us over.
Okay, now are you done?
So
now make me a pot pie.
Tired of filling out application after fucking application for loans to get money to get ahead.
Well, obviously you're filling them out wrong.
I like how she thinks loans are going to get her ahead. It's like you do understand you have to pay that money back.
Can I get a loan? Are you currently employed? No.
These people don't have to pay it back though.
Babe should start a revolution.
or seek Canadian health care.
She missed out on the big one. OnlyFans, honey. You can do OnlyFans in your car.
Yeah. Yeah, she went the Elliot Page route there.
Well, I don't know what actually successful.
That's fair.
I am so fucking done. When will these fucking companies learn?
You tell
The
me.
reason why I'm in this situation is because they don't fucking pay me enough, and I'm not the only one. I hate living in my fucking car. I hate not being able to work. I hate not having a fucking roof over me and my partner's head. I keep trying doing everything I can to fucking live a comfortable life, but it's not fucking enough because this country doesn't fucking believe that minimum wage should be able to pay all your bills comfortably.
Honey, you're not doing everything. You are not doing everything you can. Trust me.
I've got a question
it's amazing.
Here. There's this ambiguous partner mentioned, but before this, only a dog was mentioned. So I just have to ask: is the dog the partner?
Don't ask, don't tell.
Oh boy. Yeah, we don't.
How's that line going?
That's a whole.
I bet Max adds a lot of value to the workplace environment.
Yep.
I'm fucking done.
She's not toxic. She's caustic.
Yeah, right. This bitch buckled.
Chris Miller wants to know 2 people and a dog all live in that one car.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes me.
Well, these people can't even get their own life in order, and then they think that they have these solutions to fixing the country or running the country or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm a loser too. I'm not pretending that I have all the answers. Come on.
I love you so much, Vic. That was the most beautiful thing I've heard in weeks. I love that.
We're not in a good era for people taking advice. Even people who kind of are just a little fucked up, they do not. Nobody wants any advice at all, and it's so weird because I grew up kind of not like idolizing my dad, but my dad was a successful business owner, and I'm like, well, you know what, my dad's kind of got things figured out. I think I'm going to kind of ally myself with his. He had kind of a conservative philosophy. All right. I have a friend who I went to college with, worked on Capitol Hill, really successful. Every time I see him, it's like I'm picking his brain. Like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? It's like, and you know the kind of person you're dealing with when, you know, there's a really smart person sitting next to them and all they want to talk about is themselves.
Yeah. My dad's apparently watching the stream. So yeah, my dad's really successful too. And he does amazing and he's really smart. And
Pop Victor, how you doing?
Yeah.
I love Victor's dad. He's the best.
Well, you know, when we were younger, it wasn't difficult. You know, most adult men in my life, you know, were batshit crazy, but they worked hard. They were hardworking blue collar people that when they had a story to tell you, it meant something. You know, it wasn't to knock you down. It was funny, but it was also for you to learn something. And that's like there was my generation, you know, growing up around that right there. We got a lot of value out of that, out of the previous generation. You know, those hardworking people that helped make America.
It's just not really valued much anymore.
I have a question about fucking Max. My question is how did they get your dead name? Like, you obviously gave it to him at some point.
Yeah, maybe she was with them before and then after.
But they're not... Maybe she can't read the writing on the wall. Let's pretend she already did work there. If they haven't called you back in 9 weeks... Remember that thing in the movie Office Space? We fixed the glitch. We just stopped sending him a check. We just stopped putting her on the schedule.
And then they did the red stapler guy.
Yeah.
Hold on, we fixed the glitch.
We got James Gang in the house.
MVP of the night.
Yeah,
$5.
We wish we had our sound effects working tonight, but we just don't. That thing is turned off tonight.
Yes. The James Gang, $5. Thank you. The only thing my biological father ever pulled out of is my childhood. Hey-oh. Thank you, James.
Waka, waka, waka.
You still turned out just fine, my friend. Mm-hmm. Just fine. Yeah, I don't know what to think. I think the percentage of crazy people, like when I was growing up, it was smaller.
Yeah.
And I think now we just kind of have to realize that there's a good, like, 10 to 15% of people who are just irredeemably and almost dangerously crazy. Now, there's a whole other level above that, too, kind of sort of crazy. But there's 10 or 15% of people are just, well, you're good crazy.
I'll take it.
We're talking like crazy, like this.
Shotgun into a movie. Crazy.
Yeah. That's not me.
It's the erosion of the notion of shame. There really is.
Yeah.
There really is that civility and shame and other things that are
honor.
Vital. And honor, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's and also a little too much self-esteem. I'm not saying you should walk around with low self-esteem, and just always be in the gutter, but little touch of that. How you doing, Shark? Little touch of low self-esteem will always have you checking yourself a little bit for certain things. Like, all right, am I right here? Maybe you shouldn't be doing that your whole life, when you have some things figured out, but maybe not thinking you have everything figured out at the age of 21 is a good thing,
Humility is beyond important. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yes, it is.
And especially because it opens you up. I hate this idea that pretty much everyone in my generation has, is that you go to school and then you're done with education and learning and you don't progress past that point. And I've noticed something actually amongst men my age, most particularly, is there's a weird thing happening where they don't progress as people. And I'll even be a little bit personal. A lot of people I'm very close to and have a deep love for, my childhood best friends, they're not growing into real adults. They're still hyper focused on Pokemon. They're still throwing tantrums. There's a weird thing where men aren't becoming men and they're staying as these weird half fulfilled beings, but they know it's a happening thing and they become resentful and sour and it's dangerous. I don't think people know what's coming.
Yes.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, there's something in your, like, there's something within you, whatever you believe that to be, personally, I believe it to be kind of God's calling on the individual man's life to be a man. but there's something in you that is not being fulfilled when you live your life that way, and you understand in your heart of hearts, you know it's there, but you're just kind of raging against your own existence at that point. So it just
you're sort of living a lie, and if you've been brought up in any sort of a competent way, you know it's a lie, but if you're bound and determined just to keep pushing it, you start getting that paradox in your head, like, I really want to do this, but deep down inside you really don't want to do this, and gee, what happens? You go fucking nutso.
Right.
And, it's just, or you live a life of just a life that's less fulfilling than it should be.
It's a half-ass life. It really is. And I think another big thing amongst men and women of my generation is they're very bad at making intentional choices towards the future they want to see themselves in.
Right.
They'll make almost kind of these habitual, passive choices instead of intentionally chiseling themselves into the masterwork they could become. They're kind of just leaving it to chance and fate, and gone with the wind it is. I don't know. It's weird shit.
I agree. You should leave childish things behind. Anyway, how about those elf games?
Thank you.
Wonky, you have me. I'm ready to run through a wall for you.
Let's go, brother. This is a war cry. Let's not mince words. Guts and Glory is a call to arms. This is a war cry for an alternate vision of the future of fantasy. I'm not afraid of getting punched in the teeth for it. That's the difference. That's why we're an alternative thing to whatever the fuck wheelchair fantasy is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put your thing out there. If you fall flat on your face, lick your wounds and try again, But,
such is the way of Sisyphus.
Suck it up, get up.
Yep.
Suck it up, get up.
Back both Kickstarters, and then you can run Belly Fellow with Modern Necessities, especially with single action, because that's kind of like that black powder stuff.
Yes.
And you could run something kind of like akin to Blood. You guys remember that old shooter Blood?
Yes.
You could definitely do something like that if you get both.
Yep. You guys are seeing here.
There's so many ways our projects, Victor, could interact realistically. Like, it makes me so excited to have this toolbox for me as a dungeon master to use in my weekly Bella Follow games. Like, I'm really excited for your project.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm excited to get both of them now. Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do when I'm done with the stream here. I am backing.
Give me your money.
Proudly, yes. I love supporting guys like you. Yep. You guys are great.
Yeah, it kind of slowed down the last few days, which was really aggravating to see. Like, every time I got pledges, other people would pull out. But now it's seeming to crawl up back a little again. So that's nice.
You're both in kind of that zone.
Yeah.
Right now, you got Ryan and Wonky. You have 7 days to go. Victor, you have 10 days to go. And you'll get that pickup in the last 2 days, of course. That's when hit it hard again. And I mean, you'll see a nice little inflow when people get that reminder that they set. So yeah, I highly recommend these guys. I mean, look, they look like good products, but damn. I mean, this has been great conversation with all you guys.
I have a question.
I had some nice bumps because Kelsey from Shadow Dog actually backed me, and then that sent a message out to like all her backers, I guess. So yeah.
Rogan, you had a question.
Yeah, it's not the little video you made there for your the music. Who is that?
It's just some commercial theme music that came with the site that I made the trailer on. So. And it had gunshots in it, so I was like, well, that fits, so yeah.
It reminded me of my the goth raves I used to go to.
Yeah, it's a nice little tune, so yeah.
I can't wait to back them both as well.
Yep. So
it's gonna be good.
Well, yeah, why don't we get your final... guys, remember the links for both these Kickstarters are in the description of the video. Take a look at them, and if there's something, you think you could get some use out of, consider backing it. These are good guys, and they were very entertaining. So,
absolutely.
Victor, why don't you go first? Give us the final pitch, final say.
Get Modern Necessities toolkit to do whatever you want. Fully modern, urban fantasy, cyberpunk, Weird West, steampunk, sci-fi. The sky's the limit. you just get my tools and run it the way you want. Just add guns to stuff and go ham. And that's basically my pitch.
Guys, you can go one at a time. Whoever wants to go first.
Hi, my name is Keelan the Wonky. I am going to be sitting on the throne of horror within the fantasy genre, and you should become familiar with that. Thank you for your support and love.
Yes.
Yeah, Guts and Glory this is the ground floor of the next revolution in role-playing games right here. This is what we're building to. This is going to be the banner that we all need to rally behind. So, what we're offering here is good quality product, but more than that, we are offering you an alternative to the fake nonsense, the playing that everyone else is offering you. This is our sincere attempt to give you something better, the something better that you deserve. So back Guts and Glory Volume 1 and back Modern Necessities, and let's keep real gaming alive.
Absolutely.
All hail the Wonky.
All hail the Wonky! I love that.
When you got to print, send copies to Alexandria RPG Library. They will share it at events throughout cool. North America. Now, there you go. Something to consider. Thank you so much, Meat by Products, for that.
It's very cool.
Well, that was a great way to end it with you guys on. I'm going to let you guys go now. Best of luck in the last week or so
thanks.
with your Kickstarters.
Thank you.
Congrats on doubling
Thank you for
your
having
goal.
us.
That's awesome.
Right.
Congratulations on that. Continued success.
Yep. And chat, consider backing these fine folks. They were very entertaining too. All of them. Well, we'd love to have you guys back. You guys were
anytime,
easy
brother.
guests.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Easy guests.
Thank you very much for using your heart and your talent to make our hobby, our collective hobby, better.
Yep.
There's so many people out there that are not
walking the walk.
That's right.
You guys are walking the walk.
Walk
so
the walk.
Like more cats, like Mick the cowbell scene.
Yeah.
The cock of the walk, baby.
Cock of the walk.
I love it.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a great rest of the night, all of you.
Good night, everyone.
Cheers.
Yep. Bye.
They were great.
Absolutely.
Were great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, love having guests like that. I love, like I said, the kids are all right. I mean, Victor is a little younger than us, even still. But I know Ryan's younger. Wonky Keelan is a lot younger, but they got the right idea. So, damn, I'm stoked. Well, I tell you they all did great, fantastic. But Wonky, holy shit,
He's passion. There's passion in all that stuff.
That boy's a fireball.
Yeah, that's he's got a little something extra in him. He's made a little different. I love it.
We got something. Hold on, Double D. I got to drive for a second.
Yep.
I don't know what that is.
Yep.
Oh, there you go,
Yep.
Victor. You had fun.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
In the private. Yep. Thank you very much, guys. Now I don't think we're gonna have time to do this tonight because I do want to get in a little bit of Otto and Roland. Pick back up the story a little bit, but let's see here.
Doug says that he's got the hot sauce for the taco.
Yeah, we'll revisit
He
Scott
was
here.
definitely bringing the smoke,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The thing that I like is I like that. For example, the wonky, and that's going to be my example, because it's almost as if these are people that maybe we never would have hung out with or talked to.
Yeah, never had the chance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they're not someone that maybe we would have ever have met, and then to find out that you have so much in common with that person.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of a time I was doing a Uber ride, and I picked up a woman, and she was maybe like a 60-some-year-old African-American woman, and I was just making conversation. She was going to the mall is where I was taking her, and I just generally said, "Hey, are you going shopping or working?" And she goes, "I'm going shopping." I said, "What are you getting? Get some new sneakers?" And she said, "I am going to get some new sneakers." And I just said, "What are you going to get? Some Air Force Ones?" And she goes, "I am getting some Air Force Ones." And I'm a sneakerhead, and I got a whole bunch of pairs of Air Force Ones.
Yes.
And the whole ride there, all we talked about was SneakerCon, and Air Force Ones and how we like have this love of like these sneakers. And I'm thinking, who would have thought that these two people would have had so much in common? And I think that's how I'm feeling about the Wonky. Like, we have a lot in common.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not his nightmares and my dreams match up.
We'll get all these guys on. We'll make sure. Make sure we get
crazy,
Wonky on
man.
too.
Like,
yeah.
and that's one thing I do like about these live streams that Double D puts together. We're meeting people we never would have met before, and then to find out that you have so much in common with somebody that you never would have even thought that you did.
There are people that are like they're they're putting the band, not only the band, they're trying to fix the nightmare that I have in regards to our gaming hobby. The gaming thing I've been doing for an awful long time, and prior to that, wargaming. These people are the answer to when we were asking these questions a long time ago before we were doing this. There were people that were that were thinking and they were doing, and it's fucking fantastic to start meeting these people, and that the products that they're working on that are making it better are getting out there for people.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of good people, and there's a lot of good ones that we haven't talked to yet. And I'm like I said, I'm starting to start to interact more with them. I'm already on like a project with a bunch of other. Some of them are YouTubers, some of them are on Twitter, and it's a pretty well-known YouTuber. He's a good dude, who's organizing it. He organizes so many of these projects, but it's like I've met, like, just through working on it and kind of being in a private chat. There's a couple of like YouTubers who steer clear of like the culture war and all that stuff, and they're all gaming, and that is cool, because not everybody needs to venture into the waters, like maybe I do, or a couple others, but it's just fun seeing them behind the scenes because they are so fucking based. It's incredible. I'm listening to some of them talk, and I'm like, this dude is more right leaning, than I am. But you never know it by their channel because they're real. Just kind of, God bless them. They're like straight, forward, just games only.
What if me and Wonky went on the road together? the Wonky and the Mouse instead of that Farfred and Gray Mouser. I think you're developing a little man crush on. I like this vibe, man. I just like.
Oh, I did too. Yeah. Yeah, but Ryan's a cool dude too. Ryan had me on his show a while ago. He has a YouTube channel. I didn't even get to that, guys. If you're not already subscribed to Rollin' Bones with Ryan Howard, that's his YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe because he's a real good. He's a good YouTuber too. He's obviously a well-spoken dude, and obviously very talented, along with Keelan.
He's got royalty in his blood too. Did you catch that?
Yeah, Robert E. Holy shit. Yep, it's something I did not know. Yeah, so you guys can see here. At some point, we're gonna go through the legendary game Fatal. This thing has 977 pages. Oh my god!
I've looked at every single one of them.
Really?
I've looked at every single one of them.
You're gonna die within a year.
I
now,
know
right?
that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I just had to get it out of my house and share it. So
oh my god! It's like The Ring. Yeah, you gave it to me. You gave it to me.
What's that thing that if you say it 3 times in the mirror?
Bloody Mary.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Bloody Mary.
Red rum.
Red rum. Yeah, so we will go through this, the legendarily awful
red
game
rum.
Fatal. We'll see if it's as bad as they say, or I don't know. It's who knows. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We're going to just switch over to a little bit of Otto and Roland, and just pick up our story. And we won't go too long. We've already been a couple hours in, but I kind of wanted to at least touch base. And
it's been a bit.
Yeah, it has.
Almost a month.
Yeah,
because I was out for a little bit too.
I think so.
My stuff.
Yep. Go for it. Yeah. So the rest of you chat, if you're here for the normal show, go ahead and if you want to log off, you certainly can. If you want to watch us play just a little bit of Dragon Bane, it's our little story, Otto and Roland, as many of you already know. We're just going to do that, a little bit of that. So thank you. Good showing tonight again. You guys are coming in strong. We love it.
11 million people.
Yeah, 111 million. Fantastic. Go through and catch some of these Biggie Smalls. There you go. Nice pull there.
Hey, while we're getting our shit together, I got a quick story about KG and her friend. So they went out on last Saturday night, and KG has a very attractive friend.
Patty.
She's over 18, so I can say that she is attractive. She's very attractive.
Legally, you can say that, yes.
And she had a little bit too much to drink, and it was kind of obvious. And she's a sleepwalker.
Oh boy.
And she made her way into someone's room. She made her way into Sophia's room first. She curled up on the floor with a blanket and talked about how she was cold. And Sophia said, "Oh, Ella, you're in the wrong room." So she got up and walked down the hall to Derek's room.
Oh boy. Your son.
Derek is 17. Ella
Oh,
is
boy.
18. And she sat in there for a couple minutes. Like, I don't want to say a couple minutes, maybe a minute, till Derek was like, Ella? Until she realized it. And it just made me think, my young boy almost became a man that night.
Yeah. I don't know how you'd feel about that as a dad, but yeah.
Ella's a nice girl, and I get it. She just had a little too much to drink. Thank goodness someone was a designated driver, and, you know, she had a place to crash and whatever. Mrs. Mouse had to talk to her the next day about making sure she's careful and things of that nature. But it just, I don't know. Derek lucked out.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, if I was Derek's age and I had one of my older sister's friends come in, I would be stoked.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There they are. The men. All right. So, let me hit the music, shall I?
Someone just summed it up. Go back to comments just really quick.
Yeah.
And yada, yada, yada. Mouse is going to be a grandpa.
Yeah. Long story short. Nice. Yeah, you guys are chat. You guys are good as always tonight. I hope you liked the guests. Yeah, it was a great stream. So let's have a little after party sort of. All right. Here we are. Pull the map up here.
While you're pulling it up, I'll just give a quick update to all our sports fans out there, because I know they are. Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was embezzling money from him.
Really?
Got busted today, and the Dodgers found out and fired him.
Holy shit.
He got away with $4 million till they kind of caught on. And some of it might have been being funneled into a gambling website. So, wow. Shohei Ohtani is not part of anything, and as soon as they found out, this guy was gone. So,
thank you for the update there,
yep,
Mr. Mouse.
And in your bracket, Grambling 1. So there you go.
All right, so put these on. Here's our land, Fageland. The boys are, after being on the run from the law because, Roland killed a guardsman's son, the head guardsman for Lord Lundstrom. Yeah, they've been on the run nonstop, up and down, left and right. Got into a couple of capers, and then finally ended up in Carlsfell, where they now have work on the river. a river barge, selling things up and down that river you see there, from Civ all the way to Carlsfell, and sometimes up north.
And we promised we would fulfill our shifts.
Yep. Yes, indeed. All right, so let me ask you this. How long did you want to stay on? I think you were getting like, what was it, like 10, if I'm not mistaken?
10 gold?
10 a week. Was it a week?
That doesn't sound right, but it could be. 10's a lot.
I think it was. I think it was 10, but you had to split it. Remember, he didn't want to.
Correct.
He only had one.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, 5 each, and part of the deal was he would not tell anybody that we were splitting it.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right. How long do you want to go? Like, how many weeks do you want to go?
Up and down.
Well,
I thought we said we would definitely do it. We didn't give him a time frame because he didn't know how long his journeys were. Some of them were longer and shorter, but we promised him we would do multiple trips.
Right.
Yeah.
So
basically what he's doing is he's picking up goods down in Civ, and he's just taking them upstream, selling them in Carlsfell, picking stuff up in Carlsfell, selling it up north, picking some like furs and stuff up north, bringing them back down to Carlsfell. Just kind of doing this whole run. You can kind of see there the whole land. So you got to tell me, because I think obviously we don't need to do every little bit. We can maybe get you some money.
Money wasn't our object because we have that sack of coins still. It was biding time till not the heat died down, because it'll probably never die down, but we could get comfortable.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. So Barold is your boss, and he works you hard. I would say by this time, Otto, you are a good stick man on the river. Maybe you're coming along too from your time, Roland. You guys can handle this riverboat.
I made my roll, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that. So you guys are good. So why don't we say maybe like a month has passed. So, you guys have each 20 more gold that you can add.
I'll put that in the kitty.
So we'll say you find yourself at Carlsfell, ready to go back down to Civ. Do you want to keep doing this, or do you want to,
What is our ultimate goal? To go from Civ to somewhere else?
I thought we initially talked about, jumping a ship and heading south. Wherever I think that we did discuss that.
Well, Civ is the south,
right?
And then did you want to go to the right?
To me, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to me either. Double D, we talked about once we're in Civ of branching off one way. Which way would have some ports? East or west?
Well, you're not. I would say this. Maybe you're not. Maybe you've heard stories. You have heard something about a place, a land. Where there's these cities. They're called the free cities.
Mm-hmm. And which way would those be? East or west?
Probably south.
Oh, even more south. I'm sorry, Rogan.
Yeah.
You said it. I just
like south, like a different land.
Yeah,
south.
Let's do it.
All right,
let's do it. South.
Yeah.
All right. So you're in Carlsfell loading up goods, and I guess you guys have made your decision. Do you want to break it to Barold here or in Civ?
We'll tell him in Carlsfell in case he needs to get some new deckhands, right?
Yeah.
And say, hey, this last trip to Civ will be our last. Our contract that you gave with us is up, and we've decided that we want to go out.
And we truly appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gave us.
And we wanted to give you enough notice so that way if you need to find somebody
yes,
in Carlsfell, that you have the opportunity to find them.
All right, so you sit down, talk to him, and he says, I should have known. You guys are young and restless, but he kind of smiles and says, in my mind, I'm just glad I had you for this long. Damn. He's like, and you guys were coming along pretty fine. You knew how to handle that boat. It's okay though. I can manage for a while on my own, and then I'll find someone else. I hope they're as good as you guys.
And we don't want to close this door on this either.
Mm-hmm. He says, "Well, if you ever do find your way up, and and I need some help,
yes,
I'll
absolutely.
I'll definitely hire you again. Where are you headed?"
Parts unknown, south.
He kind of smiles and says, "Yeah, part of me wishes I would have done a little bit more of that when I was younger."
And this is the opportunity we have to do it.
He's like, "All right, well, I'm going to work you till we get there. So, up and at it, get that,
Absolutely.
get those jugs, get those casks, he's doing mainly, it seems like a wine, like these big wine barrels are going down to Civ from the north. So, you kind of maybe getting that little flutter in your heart, like, ooh, the end here is near, and on to bigger and better things. So
we load up, get everything all loaded up, and getting ready to hit the water and go. Just kind of stand in the back of the boat and look out toward the land. The land that that we came from. Looking at my life in there. My mistakes and where my heart was and where it is now, and kind of have that memory thing. That little heart flutter. Also that anticipation, anxiety of what might happen, but a little bit of pain too.
The greatest adventure is what lies ahead.
I'm thinking about the new opportunities. I'm not thinking about any bad nothing bad. Like, I don't know. I'm ready to move on.
Yep. All right. Well, you guys get things loaded, and you're, taking a bittersweet ride down the river, that you've kind of come to know over the last, 5 to 6 weeks. And, it's only a day or so, and, but maybe by morning you're pulling into Civ, and he's like, all right, well, I'm going to have you guys, deliver these casks, to this inn, this inn, this inn. They've paid ahead, and then you can come back and get your final pay from me.
Okay.
All right.
While we are in Civ, we'll do some investigating as to any boats that are heading more south.
All right. Well,
at the docks.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, I'm going to assume you're doing his thing first.
Yeah, and while we're doing that, we'll be like,
Yep.
Anybody going down south? Anybody going down south?
Why don't you each make an awareness roll? So for you, Crazy Mouse, that's 10 or under.
I got a 13.
So you need 8 or under for you, Rogan.
I got a 2.
Deuce is wild. Okay. So you guys are delivering to the Seagull Inn near the docks, which is your last stop. And you wanted to maybe check the harbor master here anyway, like you said, to see. But you guys are going into the bar, and Rogan, I should say Roland, you see someone that you know. It is the red-haired thief that you saw up in that village south of Elpa.
The woman?
No, well,
he was with.
Okay,
he was. He was maybe kind of acting as her pimp,
Right.
sort of. You don't see her, but you do see him. Now, if you remember him, he was a bit of a loudmouth and a lout in the original breakout of the wagon.
Yes, I remember
Mm-hmm.
now.
He doesn't seem to take notice of you.
Did you get your hair cut? I know I did.
I did.
We both had chef. I know it's 6 weeks later.
It is 6 weeks later, yeah. So it's growing in a little bit.
Yeah.
So you probably if you tell that to him, maybe you're already thinking like, oh, I'm looking a little bit too much like myself, because you really haven't had time to get your hair cut. He's
Right.
worked you pretty good, we'll say.
I will do whatever I need to do to deliver these barrels and be as inconspicuous as possible. Try not to look at them. Keep my head down.
Okay.
Keep my back to this person as much as possible.
All right. Well, consider that done because you're not accosted by him or anything. So, if you kind of turn your head, then, obviously you can't really.
Do you point him out to me?
When I have the opportunity, I will definitely point him out.
Outside the bar?
Yeah.
Outside the tavern? Yeah.
Well,
I'll be listening in to see what this guy's talking about while he's in there.
You kind of want to go back in, or
well, aren't we carrying stuff back and forth into the bar?
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's
so
fine.
On the first trip, I'm just picturing it. If I'm right, we're carrying like the casks of ale in and wine and such, and when we come back out, Roland is like, "Do you see who I see?" And then I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I'd noticed them." And then we have to carry more in, and you're walking in with your back towards him, right?
Right.
And then I'm just I've noticed that he's there. I just want to make sure that, what am I hearing him say?
Yeah, Surly says, "What the fuck, that guy again?"
He's
Yeah,
totally
that guy
killing
again. Yeah, you keep kind of running into this guy.
He's a bad penny.
Yeah, you can kind of hear him too. They're playing like a dice game over in the corner, him and about 4 other people. And you can kind of hear him. He's kind of brusque and domineering. He's picked like some people that he thinks, you think maybe he thinks he can kind of bully. They even look a little bit younger than him.
Well, that's good. He's preoccupied. We have nothing.
Yep.
He's not paying mind to us.
Yeah. Now, if you want to get closer to hear
I do
anything
not.
specific, he says, just let me know.
I hear him playing dice. I'm good with that. People shooting dice are pretty preoccupied with shooting dice.
That's right.
As a dice shooter myself.
All right, so the time has come. You delivered your last cask, your barrel, and you go to see Old Barreled, your boss, for about 5 weeks. And he says, well, did they have any questions? Did they do this, that,
Everything went smooth. A-okay.
Ship shape. He says, well, here you go. He gives you each, your pay. And this time he actually doubles it. So you each get, for this last week, you each get 10.
Oh, awesome.
And he says, well, I don't know where you're headed, but hopefully that'll help a little bit. Just make sure to stay out of trouble if you would, boys.
We'll certainly try.
That's always the plan.
He smiles and says, good luck. May the gods be with you.
Give him a wink and we go.
I stick my hand out. I want to shake his hand and thank him.
He smiles and says, good luck. Stay safe. God bless. Boom. And Barreled walks out of your life, for at least temporarily. All right, so you're kind of near the dock area anyway, and in addition to these river, these kind of like little river boats that go up and down, there are some, as you've seen time and again when you're here, there's a lot of seagoing vessels out there.
We'll put out some flyers that anybody heading down south with room for 2.
Well, there's a harbor master here.
Yep.
And he can pretty quickly, tell you, who's going where. So if you do head over to him, he says he seems to be all business, and he says, well, is there anywhere specific you'd like to go?
The name of the the Free Cities?
Free Cities.
Free Cities. He kind of like, well, okay. All the way to Sanctum. Well, he checks his records. He says there is a boat, small one, the Pelican, seems to be headed down to Port Prospero. That's one of the free cities.
Room for 2?
You'll have to ask him.
Okay. Can you point us in that direction?
He says, "End of the dock."
Okay.
like he's like getting perturbed.
Yeah, enough of the questions. Go.
I'm picturing, and you might not know this, Crazy Mouse, but have you seen Chinatown?
I have not.
Jim?
A long time ago.
Yeah. There's this clerk in the city records office. Who just is a real mealy mouth guy. That's kind of who I'm picturing in this role. But yeah, he just directs you and like, end of the dock, please. And so, we'll say there's still some daylight there. And you get walking down the dock, you see all the ships bobbing up and down in the harbor. And there towards the end, second to last, the Pelican.
Yep, we'll head on over.
There's a, when you kind of like go up the gangplank to the ship, there's actually maybe like a teenage boy sleeping up against one of the ship's masts. And he seems to be the only one on deck.
Call out, hello.
He lazily lifts his head up and then kind of like pops up. And he says, "Can I help you, masters?" Seems to be about 13 or 14.
Looking for the captain of the Pelican.
Oh, Captain Neil, he's in town. You can actually find him at the tavern over there. Unfortunately, he points to the tavern you delivered stuff to, where that one guy is.
Mm-hmm.
But he should be coming back. Well, sometimes he comes in a little late, but he's usually here, by midnight.
I don't know if I feel like risking going back to that tavern.
I don't know.
We could going back to that tavern makes me nervous.
Hiya, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Maybe we could just kind of loiter around the docks.
It's a lively area. There's certainly women plying the oldest trade in the world down there. There's people strolling the river. I don't want to say the riverfront. The ocean front. A lot of traffic, so a lot of people. So you certainly don't stand out. And there are, of course, on the street facing the docks, plenty of inns and taverns, and you can already hear as the sun is starting to set a little bit, the maybe the nightlife is kicking up. We'll say.
Well, do you want to try to secure a room someplace? I mean,
we could. Look, let's ask the boy before we do go. Are you shifting off in the morning? Is that the plan?
He says, "Well, no, the captain doesn't want to ship off too early, especially if he's been in his cups, sir. But probably, I would guess, by tomorrow afternoon, we're headed to Port Prospero. That's way down south. Sanctum. You ever been there?
We're hoping to go.
Oh, it's beautiful. So unbelievably beautiful. I've been to 3 of the free cities. I've been to Port Prospero, I've been to Stormhold, and I've been to Embercrest.
And which is your favorite?
Well, we dock at Port Prospero quite a bit. Now, Stormhold is also a bit smaller, but I've spent time there. It's beautiful. But I'll never forget my inland journey, to Embercrest. Amazing. So beautiful. They say there's a lost city down there too.
Oh.
Treasure beyond belief. His eyes get big. When I get older someday, I'm going to find that treasure. I'm going to find myself a woman.
Oh.
A good woman.
Yeah, this kid is
has
got a plan, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He's got stars in his eyes.
Yeah, he
right
does.
now. I used to be that boy until I woke up in prison.
I
he's
we are definitely going to go into town and be back in the morning to talk to this captain. So I'm going to tip the boy 2 gold.
He's like, whoa, sir.
Yep.
He's like, are you meaning to book passage?
Absolutely.
He says, well, captain will probably charge 5. This will be 2 towards that.
Nope. That's 2 towards you. You just make sure this boat doesn't leave without the 2 of us on it.
You can count on me.
Yep.
My name's Carl.
Carl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Carl.
Captain Neil will be here in the morning.
I'll offer him my hand. I'm Dale.
Dale, nice to meet you.
Craven,
nice to meet you. He's like, oh, the women, the women, over at the End. That must be the name of one of the bars. The women over at the End are the best. At least that's what the captain says. He likes to gamble sometimes right before a trip, though, so that's why he's over at the other. Yeah. Well,
the Seagull.
Yeah, the Seagull. Yep, the Seagull Inn. Pelican is the boat. Yep. So there's also, like I said, a whole row, and it looks like most of them probably have rooms. So you can either just go to that's Carl with a K. Don't detonate. Meat.
Fucking Carl.
Meat's on it. Meat's on it. This is the End. My only friend. What is it, boys? What are we doing?
We can go and get a meal, get some drinks.
Where? Just any old inn or any of the ones?
We can go towards the end where the good girls are. I'm not interested, but we can go people watch. Okay. I'm fine with that. See what pops up.
I'd certainly like to find a clean place to sleep.
Yep.
And a pretty decent meal.
Yeah.
I can't, I almost gave my heart to a woman up north.
Mm-hmm.
The blacksmith's daughter.
Yeah.
And I got ran out of town.
She's pining for you, and then your sins caught up to you. So all right. So you're heading to the end or just towards the end?
We'll go towards the end, and we'll see if we make it to the end.
All right. So we'll say you're doing a little bar hopping.
Yep.
A little bit of food here, a little bit of food there,
Absolutely.
A little bit of drink here, a little bit of drink there. Okay. Fair enough.
Kind of like Epcot Center. And we're headed towards a specific country, but you just stop at every single one to eat.
Yeah. We're in Mexico. Get that pyramid. I think we ate there.
We ate it in Italy, and we had donuts in Canada. We ate at a lot of them. Yeah. I had an appetizer in China.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're getting a little taste, but a lot of it is seafood. Being so close, you get a lot of fish.
Doesn't bother me.
One place does have some like swine, some pig.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. So let's just say maybe you burn off. If you're really up and celebrating, maybe you burn off about 3 gold each.
Sure.
And that'll include your rooms for the night, as long as you don't want like a suite or anything. Fanta suite.
No, just a nice bed to sleep on. The sleeping on it in a hammock is nice for a while.
Picturing us in those big tubs like the end of Maverick. With Mel Gibson and James Garner.
Oh, yeah.
In the tubs, smoking cigars.
All right, so like I said, final place, just a nameless place or at the end?
That nameless place.
Yeah. Nameless place? Okay, fair enough. You do see at this one nameless place, we'll say it's the last one you end up at. There is one of those guardsmen, one of the ones that ran you out of the village, the one who Bernard is the head of. But they don't seem to be especially, they seem to be on off hours. Their cape is adjusted to kind of show that they're off duty. And
this would probably be, if you really thought about it, maybe 3 months removed from that.
Yes. Yeah, it's been definitely some time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 2.5.
Let's just not draw any attention. We'll just do our business. Yep.
In fact, one time he passes me. We'll say he passes maybe by you and just kind of smiles, and just there's no no recognition at all of anything like that. One thing you do see.
What the heck? What's Raquel Welch doing here?
Fuck.
Yeah. She is over kind of in a corner a little bit, and she is like, I don't want to say surrounded, but there's like two or three guys you can tell that they're having a go at her, trying to like, court her, I guess. But she appears to be not like a noble woman of any kind. Obviously, she's in a place like this, and occasionally she'll do something that makes them laugh and everybody around laugh. And she holds up a tankard of ale to her to her mouth and sucks down maybe half of it. She even has a little foamy mustache afterward.
Stop the presses. Who's that? Vicky Vale.
Well, I'd be remiss in not pointing her out because that she is definitely the focus here.
Mm-hmm. I bet you that she'd be amazing whispering your name in your ear sometime in the morning.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's gaiety and laughter in this place that you're at. You don't even know the name of this particular inn.
Right now, it doesn't matter. This inn's called Where Angels Fall.
Your feet hurt, darling. You've been running through my head all night.
Yeah, well, we'll go in, get a bite, have some drinks, and have a hard time not staring at this amazing woman.
I say the only, occasionally you can tell she's gotten to the point where she's bored of the people around her. So she says, gotta go. And she kind of goes by and she walks by and, 1 second here. 1, 2, 3. It's you. 4, 5, or 6. It's Otto. It is a 4. So, Otto. She just walks by you, kind of bumps into you, and smiles. That's the extent of it.
Give her a smile, and I'll say, "Pardon me, ma'am."
She says, pardon me, young one." But she gives you lifts her lip just a little bit in kind of a sly little.
Is the age difference between us great or no?
A couple years. You'd guess she's probably in her mid-20s.
Okay.
Shazam.
But she heads to the bar and says, another one. And then you can tell there's like a whole new crew of men around her.
I smile and put my hand on your shoulder.
How are our drinks? Are you ready for one?
Yes.
I'll go up and get us 2 ales as well.
Slam mine, slam it real fast.
And I'll make my way right next to her. So when the barkeep comes over, I can get 2 ales for us as well.
Yeah, so you kind of worm your way next to, through someone who's, obviously has no chance with her, and you just kind of like push him aside. And, as you're getting yours, she kind of says like, try the sour ale. It's fantastic.
Will do. Thank you.
She says, I've never seen you around here before.
I'm usually on the boats from Civ to Carlsfell.
Oh, a river rat, she says as she kind of laughs.
Not anymore. Today was our last day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now what are you doing?
Going to be heading down south.
Down south? She kind of smiles at
to
that.
the Free Cities.
The Free Cities, she says.
Papa Elf.
She turns to the, to the placeholder man in front of her and kind of says, well, looks like we got an adventurer here, boys. But you can tell she's saying that she's just using them as a sounding board because, her head kind of turns towards you. And kind of smiles. Well, adventurous one. Good luck. When do you push off?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow. She has a broad smile on her face and says, well, remember to come back here when you're done.
And who do I ask for? What's your name?
She extends her hand and says, Aurora.
Aurora.
I mean, come on, you knew it had to be a stripper name of some kind, right? I mean, it's
That's an angel name.
Destiny to stage 2. Yeah, that's what you're. Aurora to stage 2. Aurora, stage 2. All right, boys, my shift's on.
Tattoo that says slippery when wet.
All of a sudden, she's my cherry pie. Mouse gonna wake up in a bathtub. Hey, that's actually Rogan. Yeah. So she kind of disappears over, and unless you'd like to have some more interactions with her, she's just kind of content to hang over on her side of the bar. So.
She can hang out, but as the night will go on, I'm not going to avoid her, but I'm not going to go out of my way to talk to her. When she comes up to get a beer or when we pass each other to go to the restroom or whatever, bumped into each other again, huh?
Well, the games these women play, Crazy Mouse, right? Yeah. The women play games. So the first time she goes up to get a beer and you're kind of standing there and you're like, yeah, here it comes. She completely ignores you.
Yep. I know that game.
And then immediately goes over, and you can tell she's almost fawning over someone. But make a spot hidden check if you would. Both of you can, if you're both kind of just together and just kind of kibitzing.
3.
There you go.
I did not make it. 15.
Well, she's doing all this, but then at one point.
She's lifting purses.
No. No. You catch her looking at you. She's looking at him, but then she looks over her shoulder, or his shoulder, and just right into your eyes, and you can tell she's a little bit embarrassed and immediately pulls her head back and starts talking and smiling, and she's playing the game.
I obviously don't see this, but I'm still going to encourage him anyhow. Dude. Are you kidding me?
That's Raquel Welch.
I have her poster.
When I go up to get our next round of drinks, I'll get 3.
Oh, okay. 3 of what? Regular ale?
Nope, the sour one that she likes.
Oh, 3 sours. Okay. All right. You got him.
Drop one off.
You're going over to her?
Roland. Take the other one over to Aurora.
And she sees you, and she kind of smiles and says, "Oh, thank you," as she takes it. She's like, "I was actually going to quit for the night, but you know what? In the interest of conviviality, I toast you, sir. What is your name?"
And I tell her it's Otto.
Ooh.
And then I say to one more, and I clink glasses with her.
Yep.
Not frat boy style where I hit her beer on the top and it foams all over. Yeah.
You can tell she's a little in her cups. Her eyes are a little glassy, so she says, "Well, you're a very nice man."
And for the record, I do know that I said my real name.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I did it on purpose.
Understood. Yeah.
Yep.
She drinks about half of it, and then
Otto gave her a hot Cosby.
Great gold worm. Way to come in strong. She was Miss Conviviality, says Meat. Yep. One more man today. Yeah, no, she Sis Surly says he'd get rolled by Raquel. Wouldn't we all? Hot Cosby, Overkill Joe, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, thank you guys, by the way, for hanging out. Hope you're enjoying it. We'll be ending pretty soon here. So, all right, so she goes up, and she's actually seems like she's staying here, so she just goes upstairs. So
is this our hotel as well?
It is
now.
It is. All right, so yeah, we'll say there's one room left. You guys got to share it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
So, all right, anything you want to do as the night closes out and the bar gets cleared, and then it's sleepy time.
I'm gonna. Can I tell which room she went into?
You didn't tell me which you were following her, so I'm going to say
following her.
Yeah,
I'm
so I'm going to
just
say
watching her walk up the stairs.
Yeah, no, it kind of disappears into a hallway, so no,
Okay.
you don't have any idea.
She doesn't have any drunked up hangers on outside the door saying, "But Aurora, but Aurora,
I thought we had true love.
we made a connection."
Yeah, no, you can tell she's pretty good at these games. She knows how to lead them on just right, and then knows how to let them down pretty easily with maybe a vague we'll see you around, boys. And that's how she did it. So, but you can just tell when she went upstairs, everybody was like shaking their head, like, damn.
All right. Well, after we finish our sour ale, we'll go upstairs as well.
All right. Did you want to try to find out the room, or were you content?
I'm content.
Okay. Anything you want to do, Roland?
I'm just going to shake my head like, oh, my man.
What?
This could have been epic for you.
It already was.
I guess so.
Bubba, ready for a struggle.
Yes.
I'm totally fine. We'll see her at breakfast.
I hope so.
Well, you wake up. We'll say you get ready. Is there anything special you want to do other than breakfast?
Breakfast, and then get to that pelican.
Yep. You don't really see her at breakfast, though. There are other people who were there last night, who stayed overnight. And maybe even a couple times you hear like, oh, how about that Aurora or something like that. But you don't see her.
Ask what room.
I'll go over to the innkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
The beautiful young lady. Did she come down for breakfast?
Oh, yes, sir. Came down and didn't eat, but checked out and left.
Does she come often?
Aurora?
Yeah.
She's been here time to time.
Is she on one of the boats?
On one of the boats? I couldn't tell you, sir.
Didn't know if maybe she worked on one of the boats or is a captain on one of the boats.
Oh, Aurora, a captain? He kind of chuckles and says, "Oh no, I wouldn't think so." But he kind of just cryptically just doesn't say anything else.
I'll toss him a silver, thumb style.
Yep.
Like Fonzie into a jukebox.
He says, "Well, thank you. Hope you enjoyed your stay."
Absolutely.
Eat our breakfast.
Yeah. Make our way. Yep.
Do you want to hit the market or anything? Do you need anything? Any clothing? Do we need?
I don't think we need clothing. We got plenty of that stuff. No, I think it's important that we don't miss this captain.
Nick says X card. Woman not being a captain is sexist. Oh boy. Raven Master. She's secretly the sister of the one Roland killed.
Gosh.
It's just all a coincidence. All right, so you said you're headed over then to the Pelican?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. The Pelican is a lot more lively now. It seems like they're getting ready. Not imminently ready to sail off, but you do see someone with a large bearing. Seems a little husky, but he has the bearing of a captain. who you would assume is Captain Neil.
We'll go over and introduce ourselves, Craven and Dale, and ask him if the young boy mentioned to him that we were looking for a passage.
Just then, he comes running up and says, Carl does, and says, "These are the ones I was telling you about, Captain." He's like, "Yes, back to work, Carl. Come on." And he's like, "Yes."
Do you have room for 2?
Yes. Going to be seven per, 7 crown per.
Could you do it for 5? 7 is good. I'll say that's what we were told.
Okay. Yes. Headed to Point Prospero and then a couple other cities. Will you be getting off at Point Prospero or Port Prospero?
To be determined.
Very good. Well, he says I didn't lose as much as I thought last night, and I'm not in my cups as much as I thought I would be. So I'm actually ready to go within the hour. We have a couple of other deliveries that we're still waiting on, but once they get here, I'm ready, and a couple passengers too, also.
Okay.
All right. So,
nervous who these other passengers are going to be.
I'm not.
I don't want it to be no redhead guy.
Oh. That boy's going to sleep with the fishes.
Deal. Okay.
All right. So he says, well, I can have Carl show you to, your area, such as it is. You'll have a sleeping hammock. And, of course, free run of the ship. Carl, show him around.
All right.
All right. So,
good evening, Bill.
They, how you doing, Bill? Carl shows you, below deck, and says, "Oh yeah, we have grog. We have this." He's really excited to have you on board. He seems to like you. And he says, "Yeah, we have a couple of passengers coming." And when he leads you up, Roland can see Otto's eyes maybe widen just a little as you see her walking up the gangplank, talking to someone. Aurora. Talking to an older woman.
You get her, I get her mom.
They have bags. She sets them down, and Carl says, "Excuse me." Carl turns back at you and says, "Get a load of that one." He points. Remember, Carl was a little frisky too.
Yeah.
He's like, "I wouldn't mind fluffing those pillows." And he goes over and says, "Well, how putting on the face of a very polite boy. How do you do, ma'am? May I take your bags?" And the captain's talking to them. They're booking passage, it looks like.
Oh.
And her eyes definitely go over to you guys, and then they rest on Otto. And she kind of puts her head down and smiles. You can almost tell she's kind of laughing. And Carl is bringing them over to you.
I nod and I say,
"I believe I remember your name."
Yeah. Good morning.
Otto, right?
Yep, you are correct, Aurora.
Carl looks confused, but lets it pass pretty quickly.
Now I'll say, now I know why you chuckled when I said the pelican.
Yes. Well, it seems like we're going to be passengers together. Oh, this is my mother, Isabella.
It is good to meet you.
Mother or sister? Which one did I hear?
She's still pretty good looking. You can tell they're mother-daughter. Yeah, she's just picture this, about 30 years, with some streaks of white and a couple of lines, and you'll
distinguished, experienced,
distinguished and dressed very fine.
Hot.
Yes. She extends her hand for it to be kissed.
And I will.
Aurora says, "Mother, please." And she says, "What?"
I'll look. I'm like, "It's my pleasure."
All right, so we'll say a couple other passengers file on board who I can flesh out later. Then they're ready to raise the gangplank, and you're like, "Cool, getting ready to go on." And then you hear, "Boom, boom, 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 boom." Coming up the gangplank is the red-haired guy.
I had a feeling.
Yep. He puts money in to the captain's hands, very quick transact. Carl comes over. You can see, the red-haired guy just kind of pushes Carl away, not quite physically, but extends his hand like, "I got it, boy." And then he makes, the girls are gone now. They've gone below deck. And he comes right over to you and says, "Well, I thought I recognized an old friend, a set of old friends yesterday." Oh, come on now. I think we all know what we're talking about.
I'm afraid is this an inside joke that I'm unaware of?
I don't know. We spoke to a lot of people at the inn, but I don't recall speaking with them.
Now, I remember speaking to her, and I'll say that to the red-haired guy, but I don't remember speaking to you.
Oh, dear. And here I thought we took a nice wagon ride at one point, and then, we had seen each other in a beautiful, idyllic village. He leans into you and says, "Don't worry about the girl. I took care of her."
I've already made a decision inside my mind, and I'll try not to betray my face, betray my feelings on that.
Okay. He pats you both on the back and says, "So, Port Prospero, huh? Yeah, it's a good place to start over, right? For maybe some guys who have made a few mistakes and maybe have the authorities a little too close."
Yesterday?
Where
you been?
You got a lot of catching up to do, my friend.
Great googly moogly.
Welcome aboard, seriously. Orange
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Welcome, Orange.
Yeah. Yeah. But he kind of when he says that about the authorities, he kind of smiles and then nods over at the dock. And you can see a couple of those, guardsmen, Lord Lundstrom's guardsmen, just kind of patrolling, almost like they're looking for something. And he says, "I knew I'd have friends here." Right?
Your name, sir?
Well, you can call me Goran.
Goran?
Yeah. And like I said, don't worry about Santa. She's been taken care of. Santa, you remember as the old kind of dumpy prostitute who was actually in the wagon, the prison break wagon with you.
Yeah, that sealed the deal inside my skull.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just try to smile and kind of give a nod and.
Yep. All right. Well, it does kind of unsettle you when you're like, "Oh yeah, there is a reason we're leaving, and it is these guardsmen, and they do look like they're looking for something. You're not sure what." But Goran says, "Well, we'll be seeing a lot of each other, won't we?" And then he nods. He puts his elbow into you, Otto, and says, "How about that little strumpet down there?" Obviously referring to Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get her in between the sheets.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I am sizing him up now.
Yeah.
Does he look like a fighter? Does he have some brawn to him? Is he a mouth person?
He's definitely a mouth person.
Don't we have? You're a talker, you. Talkers make me thirsty.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a talker, but he also looks like the kind that could fight dirty and win.
Okay.
He's got that face of a survivor.
Okay.
But also the face of a very cruel man.
Okay. Well, they're only survivors.
Boating accident. Surly says boating accident.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Foggy night, slippery deck, things happen. Yep.
Get tangled up in some ropes, fall over, get
We
dragged.
actually hope for rough seas. Whoops.
Keel hauled by accident.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. The captain says, all right, I think everybody's accounted for. We got the deliveries. Let's head on out. He kind of has an air of like joviality to him. Are we ready to go? Port Prospero, the free cities.
Party boat.
Margaritaville.
You mean this boat's not called a Banana Wind?
Yeah, exactly. Orange Aspid is Dragon Bane. We're playing for now. Pretty soon we're just going to probably slide over to Greg Gillespie's Dragon Slayer game. Yeah, we like them both. But we do like Greg too. And quite frankly...
I'd like to check out his game.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we will transfer these characters over at some point here in the near future. All right, so the boat eases out of dock and gets out into the open sea, and we'll say the last scene is as the sun is setting that day. People are walking around on deck. I guess it would be kind of romantic that Otto's. Maybe you're talking to Carl, the boy. Roland.
Actually, I planned on talking with him briefly. I did plan on that.
Yeah, but maybe Otto's just got his face on the horizon, and stepping up to the rail next to you is Aurora.
And we were looking in the same direction.
Yeah. She looks at you kind of like, you got a secret, don't you? And then, but when you look in her eyes,
she is one too.
Yeah, she may have a secret or two as well.
There's a kinship there.
Yep. She pats you on the hand and says, "Well, this could be an interesting trip."
How long of a trip is it, Double D?
I was going to ask that.
It's going to be at least 3 weeks.
So let's pretend I knew that going in.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, as like the last line of our episode, I'll say to her, like, this is going to be a great 3 weeks.
Yep. So let it be written. So let it be done.
And right then the credits.
Credits roll. All right.
Excellent.
Good job, boys.
I'm going to click over to the comments, Double D.
Oh, yeah, please do.
People might be Captain Stupid.
The love
thank you
the
for
love
saying
boat.
that, because I've been catching up on some Love Boat on the Pluto show.
Yeah.
So in the mornings, I'm not going to work at 4 in the morning anymore. I'm getting sick of that. So I'll catch an episode of Love Boat at like 6. But today I did not watch it. I watched baseball. Baseball started today. So
Dr. Bricker, he's a bit of a pervert.
He is.
He would not pass muster today.
No, he would not. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought it was a great show.
Yep.
Thanks for the super chats. Hope everyone has an awesome evening and great weekend.
These people every Wednesday they bring their A game because
They do.
they're a riot.
And they make us bring our A game, and when we're not on it.
Thank you, Cal, again. Moderating, doing a good job. He's got Cal's. I love Cal. He is a good moderator, but he's kind of like the Maytag repairman. The guy who sits and doesn't have to do anything because we have such a well-behaved chat
for now.
And I'm sure he's had to take on a few bots, but it doesn't seem like we get too many trolls here.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
Only that one, right?
Thank you, GGW.
Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, the one that called us boomers.
Yeah, and didn't some of his cronies show up one night?
Oh yeah, that clown. Yeah, that's okay. That was actually kind of exciting. That was fun. All right, guys. Simon and Simon needs to be on streaming somewhere. Yeah.
I like that show.
Yep, I can picture the theme in my head. Yeah. What a time, right, Meat? 80s Magnum PI.
It was a great time for television.
Yeah, little Falcon Crest.
That I didn't watch.
I was more of a Dynasty guy. My mom watched Dynasty back in the day, so I watched Dynasty. She'd let me stay up late. I think it was on Wednesdays, if I'm not mistaken. So she'd let me stay up late to watch Dynasty with her.
That's cool.
So I'd be like, cool. That's where I developed my crush on Joan Collins. I was not a Linda Evans guy. I was a Joan Collins guy. Riptide, yeah. Yep, for sure. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We've had you long enough. I'll send you out with
The video. Or no, you played that during the live stream. On,
Yeah,
on,
I don't want to. Yeah, I'd like to keep this one monetized if I can. So we'll go with.
How about your commercials?
Yeah, we'll do a little commercial and then maybe a little classy Freddy Blassie. All right, guys. Peace out. Love you. We'll talk soon.
Good night, everybody.
Yep.
Back when I was a kid, life was going swell. Till something happened. Blew everything to hell. That night my daddy stumbled in, all pale and weak. Said a woman up the block just gave birth to a geek. Mom said, sell it to the circus. What the heck? Dad said, nope, this one's a pencil neck. And if there's one thing lower than a sideshow freak, it's a gritty, scum-sucking, pencil-neck geek. You see, if you take a pencil that won't hold lead, looks like a pipe cleaner attached to a head, add a buggy-whip body with a brain that leaks, you got yourself a grit-eating, pencil-neck geek. Pencil-neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-cut, losing streak. Nothing but a pencil-neck geek. Pencil-neck geek. Soon the geeks were popping up all over town. You couldn't hardly sneeze without knocking one down. After a nice juicy steak, if you need a toothpick, just reach for a geek. They'll do the trick. One day we cut one up for fish bait. Learned our lesson just a little bit late. Soon as the geek hit the drink, the water turned red. Next day, sure enough, all the fish were dead. Pencil-neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut losing streak. Nothing but a pencil-neck geek. Most any night, you know where I can be found. Yeah, stomping some geek's head into the ground. So keep the faith, cause in Blassie you can trust. I won't give up till the last geek bites the dust. Pencil-neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut losing streak. Nothing but a pencil-neck geek. They say these geeks come a dime a dozen. I'm looking for the guy who's supplying the dimes. It's gonna be real hard times for all of these grit-eating, scum-sucking, boot-licking, drop-kicking, gut-grinding, nail-biting, glue-sniffing, scab-picking, butt-scratching, egg-hatching, sleazy, smelly, pepper-bellied, dirty, lousy, rotten, stinking freaks. Nothing but a pencil-neck geek. Pencil-neck geek. Pencil-neck geek. Pencil-neck